Puddcast. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Callum Buddy, and welcome back to the 23rd annual podcast. We are here in Detroit, Michigan. The second... No, that's Chicago. Oh well. I'm joined with my usual co-host, Marshall, Augustine, Edward, David, Peterson, Shabuzi III.
Hello. I like Shabuzi. I think, do you have Detroit on your mind? Because of Deus Ex.
No, I don't actually. I have Detroit on my mind because it is the 23rd annual Podcast Mania, and WrestleMania 23 was in Detroit.
So that is really weird.
Join us next week when we'll be in, I think it was Orlando, or maybe it was Miami. I think it was Miami, actually.
God. I would rather be in Detroit than Miami.
Really?
Oh my god, I hate Florida. Like, I like Orlando because it has Disney World, but like that's the only island paradise there. Like, you want to...
I like Miami.
You've been there?
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't been there, but I haven't been to Miami specifically, but the entire state of Florida is just like basically a fuck barrel of insanity. Like, that's the only word you can really use to describe it. Like, it's just when you give people too much freedom. This is what happens. When
someone as left wing as Marshall says that, you've got a serious problem on your hands.
It's crazy. But yeah, that's it about Florida. So,
welcome to the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, so we have got a lot of video games to talk about this week because there have been, I guess not 3 announcements, but there are 3 games that are now on my mind that I'm going to be buying this year on day one, which is very rare for me. It's the first time since, what was it, 2012? Was that when Borderlands 2 was coming out?
Yes, I think so. Yeah, 2012 was Borderlands 2.
Yeah, that was the last year, or 2011-12, Portal 2 to Borderlands 2 was the last set of games that I was super excited for.
2011 was probably that was a really good year.
Great year.
Really, probably the
Battlefield.
best. Like, not my favorite game. My favorite games didn't come out in that year, but enough really good games came out in that year for me to say
Portal
that was
2,
probably
Battlefield
the best
3,
year in gaming
Deus
in the
Ex
last
3.
10 years. Like, there was just a lot of solid releases for me, personally.
I mean, like if the ones I remember,
Gears of War
Portal
3
2,
as well.
Gears of War 3, Battlefield 3, Fallout New Vegas, Lonesome Road, Deus Ex 3, which was a huge release for me because it was the revival of a genre, even, yeah.
And your favorite game, Modern Warfare 3.
I hated that game so much. That was the end of me liking the Call of Duty series.
But you love Call of Duty.
Zombies.
Oh, okay.
See, like I remember when I played Modern Warfare 3 and people would ask me, "Oh, Paddy, do you think it's worse than Modern Warfare 2?" And I said, "Yeah." You know why? Because I played Modern Warfare 2 for 9 months. I played Modern Warfare 3 for 7 days, and I took it back to the store, and I got 20 quid for it. I paid 40, I got 20, but I was fine. I was happy because that's 20 quid that I am happy to get because I will no longer have to play that piece of shit of a game. It was dreadful.
See,
that was the worst game.
I never sell my games back just because I think the price you get back is so... I'm not gonna say unfair because I realize the resale market, like, that's just how things are. I don't want to say they're unfair, but to me, I just don't like doing it. So if I have a game that I hate and I just have to get rid of, I give it to someone. I just pass that shit off to someone else. And
20 quid is a decent amount of money, man.
Well, I wouldn't spend 40 quid on a game I wouldn't like.
It was a Call of Duty game. How was I supposed to know I wouldn't like it? I had enjoyed to some degree every Call of Duty game I had played before.
Okay. That's true.
Yeah.
I mean...
4, World at War, even Modern Warfare 2, I got 9 months of solid play out of. Black Ops, I was coming off of Black Ops, the greatest Call of Duty game of all time. So my hype was obviously really high for Modern Warfare 3. Even though I still distrusted crap, I forgot the name now. Infinity Ward. How have I forgotten?
Maybe this is why, I think this is why, either this is ominous or just a really good way to look at the psychology of Putty and why he is so distrustworthy but also excited for Fallout 4. Because it's in a very similar situation where you had two different developers releasing games in the same series, and you really liked one of them, but you didn't trust the other. But because you liked the series so much, you were really hyped for the new release, and then it crushed you. So I think you're scared back in your mind, or maybe even the forefront of your mind, that's just going to happen again with Fallout 4.
Yeah, it is. It is. I'm very cautious about Fallout 4. But at the end of the day, I'm not that invested into it, you know? I'm actually, like, less excited about Fallout 4, because it's not announced yet, than I am about Deus Ex 4. Which is a great segue on to a game that's been announced this week. Mm-hmm. Do you wanna kick us off?
There's a lot of new games I'd like to talk about, but yeah, let's start with Deus.
We could have segued so cleanly.
Sorry, Deus. This isn't a clean show in many ways. Deus Ex, Mankind Divided.
And we both did the Illuminati side.
So.
So there's one little tiny trailer that we have so far that is clearly not representative of the final gameplay, I hope, because there's a lot of killing and a lot of violence.
Shit ton of killing. There was he was basically killing everyone.
Yeah, which I'm sure the Human Revolution.
Here's the thing, killing sells,
trailer was the same.
But I'm sure they'll give you the choice not to kill them, just like you could in Human Revolution. Because Human Revolution can be just as violent. You know, it can be that violent if you want, but.
There's the shotgun and the revolver are so visceral. There's rocket launchers. I know you haven't played Director's Cut yet, but that has a double barrel really early on.
I have played Director's Cut.
Have you? It says on Steam that you don't own it for me.
What? Well, I own it.
Yeah.
Let me check. Anyway, but
yeah, it's a very visceral killing game on occasion, but I never play it like that. The most lethal style I ever go is, okay, I'm prepared to have an oh shit button. That's the most lethal I ever go with Human Revolution, personally. Have you ever gone with a kill everyone playthrough?
I have not. I've gone with a kill no one playthrough because that's really fun and a cool challenge, and I've gone with a passive inclined playthrough just because to me it's easiest to try to pass every enemy without even having to deal with them. If you don't have, and that basically for me, if I go into a level, here's the 3-step process. First, can you get past them without alerting them or attacking them at all? Do that first. If you can't, you move to step 2, taking them out quietly and non-lethally. And if that can't happen, then move on to step 3, kill the bitch.
Well, I think there's a step you're missing in there, which is quietly but lethally, and then loud.
Yeah, I never go loud. Okay, you don't prepare to go loud. That's not a plan. That's oh shit, go loud.
I don't know, like I haven't done it personally, but there's definitely a way to play the game that's loud.
If you have certain augments, there are certain augments that can allow you to go loud, but usually
I don't think it's as hard as you think it is. It's a good cover system.
Maybe it isn't.
One shots for a long time.
I try to focus on augs that help me be very stealthy, and also augs that help me take out robots because the robots are bitches. I hate the robots, and I love things that help me kill them.
You've just got to keep an EMP stockpile, man.
Well, I forget what the move is called, but my favorite thing to take out robots was that one thing. I can't think of it. It's one of the best augs you can get. It's where he spit the Typhoon. There you go. I love the Typhoon. That's my robot killing weapon. By the way,
very wet cat just walked into my room.
I'm assuming when you say passive, you're allowed to kill robots because I kill the shit out of all the robots.
Well, you're allowed to disable the robots. Of course, you're not killing them. They're not human beings.
That's a really no, that's a racist comment in Deus Ex.
It is, and I'm sure it'll be even more dangerous in Mankind Divided because if you saw the trailer, there are more and more tensions between augmented humans and actual humans.
Yeah, I mean, at first, I think Putty. At first, you thought it was a prequel.
At first, I just thought it was a prequel. Why did I think it was a prequel?
Because theoretically, the tension between augmented and non-augmented people should only loosen after Human Revolution, but it can't be a prequel.
It's not like should only. There's only like 2 endings where that's the most likely outcome, and in all of them, it's up in the air.
That's true, but the reason it can't be a prequel, obviously, is because Jensen is
Adams
augmented.
Yeah. And it also makes a lot more sense on the timeline because you see in Deus Ex 1 where terrorism and anti-aug sentiment is at an all-time high. And Deus Ex 1 is at the end of the timeline. Invisible War does not exist. No. So, yeah. Deus Ex 1 is at the end of the timeline. There's nothing after Deus Ex 1. Deus Ex 2 does not exist in my mind. Sorry. But yeah, no, that's the thing.
For me, the timing of, although Deus Ex is a great game, the timing of Human Revolution for me in the period is better.
Oh, it's so good.
It's such a good timing. It's in a perfect period. To me, it's in a much better period than Deus Ex is set in. It's in a much more pivotal period, and everything feels so sort of like robot retro, even though it's not. You know what I mean? Like, it's weird, but
yeah, I like them both a lot. But you're right. It's Human Revolution. It's set in such a important time in the overall storyline, and then like. You've also, like, I've been doing this lately, because as soon as the trailer was announced, I went into full, like, remember all the story mode. And there's two big stories to Deus Ex. There's two of them. There's two of the huge stories that run through them all. The development of augmentations is the biggest one, probably. And then the second biggest one is the development of the Illuminati. So, you know, those are the two big storylines. And in the development of the, of augmentations, Human Revolution is probably the most pivotal part of the story, whereas in the development of the Illuminati, it's probably more the original. Because you get to delve a lot deeper in Deus Ex into the conspiracies, whereas
I think you get the feeling that in Deus Ex Human Revolution, the Illuminati or the overruling presence in the world is really just starting to get its fingernails stuck into the cogs. Like, to me, they're not absolute power.
Well, they own Taiyang Medical, which is the biggest market share by far.
Well, if owning the biggest market share in the world made you the Illuminati, then we already have them.
Well, no, they also have control over the Chinese government.
Once again. No, just
you know, they also Hugh Darrow. He's their bitch. Big part of it. Yeah. You know, and he's got the drilling, but they're not really drilling though. It's experimenting on people. I need to do, like, that's the one thing. I've got most of my data still up, but I still need to do some more research on Panchaea. Panchaea, I still don't know quite what's going on over there. Can you enlighten?
No, I haven't played the game. Okay. I need to replay the game. In fact, I need to replay the starting with the first one because I haven't played the first one in a really long time.
Yeah, skip Invisible War.
I've never played it. I want to just try it out. Is it that bad?
It's so bad.
Why is it so bad?
The inventory system is so clunky. The gameplay is just unintuitive. It's just not very good. I don't know what the story's like. I haven't played it in a while. It's probably fine, but it's also too far ahead in my opinion. It's like 2076 or something. It's too far ahead.
Whoa, shit. 2076?
Yeah, Deus Ex 1 is in 2050, and then Deus Ex Human Revolution is 2027.
Yeah. I think 2027 is so... What's awesome about it is it's... Like, I don't think we'll be there at the year 2027, but...
No, because you can, like, read the lectures from Darrow, and some of them are like, oh, we developed PDOT clusters in 2003, and this lecture in 2010, and the Great Oil Crisis in the Middle East of 2015, you know? And you can see that these events didn't really happen.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's realistic. It's just, I think it's moved ahead like 20 years, you know?
It's a different universe. Yeah. It's a different It's great because you can kind of relate it to your real life world. Like, Hengsha and the whole, like, that hub of nanotechnology could very well be built upon the economic situation of the world today. China surpassing the US as an economic powerhouse is a predicted thing we're dealing with today. And it happens in the game at, a couple of years before the game starts. You know what I mean? And they give reasons in this game that are different to real-life reasons. The reason why China overtakes the US as an economic powerhouse in this game is the rise of nanotechnology, which is invested in by the Illuminati.
And you know who really comes up on top in the overall scheme of all this? It's not the US, it's not China. It's the city of Detroit. The
city of Detroit's doing all right for itself,
dude.
But it's still got nothing on
but what I mean is the level of development from now Detroit to then Detroit. It's just fucking ridiculous.
There's so many backstreet like gangs though.
Those for nothing. Yeah.
But I mean, you have, I know. But remember Upper Hengsha though? You're like, your vision of Hengsha is painted by Lower Hengsha. But you know when you go up to Taiyang Medical and you look out into Upper Hengsha?
Yeah.
Oh, it's just beyond belief. It's so advanced. It's so like paradise-y, you know. And you read books about it and the investments into like universities and stuff, and it's just Upper Hengsha is just amazing. Like Upper Hengsha was originally a level and they took it out, and I'm so gutted because it's one of my favorite areas in the game, even though you don't get to go to it.
I think the whole city of Hengsha is sort of just like basically a classist society. Like it's a perfect classist society because it separates the class by the sky. You know, like here's where you live, lower class. Here's you live literally upper class. You are above the lower class physically and theoretically.
There are some people, actually, I think a decent chunk of the population who work in Upper Hengsha and live in Lower Hengsha.
Okay, you can come up and talk to the upper class people, but you will not sleep here.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
No, but
yeah,
but it's really what were we originally
also,
talking about?
Mankind Divided.
Okay.
tensions between like the Augs and the anti-Augs.
What do you now? You had a theory about who the protagonist was going to be. Let's hear that.
Sure. So in the trailer, the link might be in the description. If not, just type in Deus Ex Mankind Divided announcement trailer. So there is another prominently featured person on the trailer. So there's actually three, okay? You got Jensen, and then you've got this younger-looking man, maybe teens, maybe 20s, who is Augged and has an orange hood.
He looks a little punkish.
And then
He's like a
yeah.
rock punk.
And then there's a bigger, muscly Aug guy who seems to lead the, like, I guess, Aug terrorists.
He gets like bigger and scarier as the trailer goes. He starts as like, he looks like a normal dude. Like, I don't know, I need to watch it again, but
he's like Barrett on crack.
It seemed at the beginning he was like, hello, I am the leader of this guild. And then at the end he's like, he's like,
this is your fight, brother.
The only thing was missing was his like to explode with vomit like a zombie.
You know, like I think he's the antagonist. Like one of the minor ones, I'm assuming. I'm just gonna throw it out there. I don't think he's a protagonist. Maybe he's like an optional.
I think one great thing, no matter who. So you think that the protagonist is gonna be this teenage guy?
I don't know for sure. It's probably gonna end up being Jensen. But for gameplay reasons, I think the best case scenario is the protagonist is this guy. Yeah. The hooded youth.
The hooded youth.
The hooded youth.
I think
he's also sorry, but from his face, I get the impression that he's also not Augged by choice, which would be an interesting storyline to go down. Although we've already had that, so maybe not.
I think one of my favorite. I think it'd be interesting if he was like an interesting storyline is if because he's a youth would be maybe he starts the game being augmented by choice and maybe his parents reject him for this and kick him out of the house or whatever and then he falls in with the wrong kind of
because he's often found on the streets in the trailer just from the shadows.
Yeah, and I think that's a really interesting storyline to follow is rejection. You know, making this leap of faith, making a decision. Okay, this is what I want my life to be, and your parents utterly crushing you.
Rejected.
But what I was gonna say was, no matter who the protagonist is gonna be, you can tell that the antagonists, because there's probably gonna be two, maybe even three.
Well, if you think about it, there's probably gonna be like 3 or 4 bosses, and then 3 or 4 like antagonists.
But whoever they are. The antagonist or the antagonist and the protagonist, whoever the good guy is and whoever the bad guy is not going to be black and white. It's going to be very gray. You can just tell that from the trailer. That
I mean, who's the antagonist of Human Revolution?
That's true. You know, they do that very well, and that's one thing I love. I love a story that paints a gray picture, or one might say a colorful picture, because you know you can't. It's really colorful, like a bit, basically something that you can't so easily identify who you're supposed to like. You know, you really have to think about it. And, you know, those games are made even better when you can then choose who you want to side with. Because, you know, it's kind of stupid if it forces you to side with someone even though you've made the choice that another side is better. Because, you know, even if the side it forces you to go with isn't killing people, maybe their overall plan is kind of loopy and will not end that well.
Maybe you do want to kill people.
Maybe you want to kill people. You're a psychopath. Who isn't? 1 out of 3 people is a psychopath. You know, no, just
also, like as much as the ending of Deus Ex Human Revolution in terms of the way you pick it is criticized and you know what's the word, justifiably so. Like pushing push button to get ending. At least the endings were very much. You could probably identify with one of them, even though they were all kind of generic. You could definitely identify with one of them. Like, you had the 3 options, which I won't go into too much, that you could probably identify with. And then there's part of me, like, even, like, I'm very much this way, where, you know, the person who says, oh, it's not really my decision, it's not those guys down there's decision, it's everyone's decision, you can just blow the whole place up. The truth kind of gets out, kind of doesn't. It's humanity's choice to decide. Mm-hmm. So everyone's bases are covered in those endings. You can identify with something. I'm sure. I don't know. Did you identify with an ending right away when you played it?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. So that I don't know if that supports what you were just saying. I'm kind of.
Yeah, it does. It does. It's okay. No, but yeah, no. I think the story looks to be promising.
Promising, yes. I like.
And they would have to be drunk on their asses to fuck up the gameplay, because the gameplay was stellar, and all they have to do is add a tweak here or there.
The boss fights need to be non-lethalable.
Mm-hmm. Literally, all they have to do is change the boss fights and change some of the AUGs, because it'd be boring if it was all the same AUGs. In my opinion, because then you'd just be doing the same thing. The
AUGs weren't great. I didn't think in Human Revolution.
And I think a lot of the gameplay, if you're not there for the story, you're there to develop your character, because it's really cool to.
The gameplay was cool.
Yeah, it's really cool to unlock AUGs, even if So I think they definitely need to change the AUGs up. But besides that, that's easy. That's basically putting in numbers into a formula that you already know works. You know, so.
Yeah, it's also graphical updates, graphical overhauls.
Yeah, but these these are all things that don't change the initial formula. They've got a formula that works really well. All they have to do is just basically turn everything up a little more, and it will literally be just as good as the last game, if not better. Saying that, I hope they don't fuck up.
From looking at the trailer, it's been 14 years, and finally, after we got it in 2011, but once again, Gunther Herman's wish has come true. He wanted orange, and this time he's getting it. Another orange game. I'm so glad. You know, he's had too much of that bullshit lemon lime.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't like orange?
Yes. I mean, I guess it's the janitor. He fucks with him, you know? I'm sure I didn't press the wrong button. I wanted orange. It gave me lemon lime.
I'd like a cola-colored game. Everything would be really dark brown. You wouldn't be able to see anything. It's like, is this supposed to be neon? No, it's just dark. You're walking into a club and you can't see anyone in there because everything's colored brown.
Brown. No, but there is not a game in a long time that I've been more excited for, because it's just a game that's so hard to fuck up. Right?
Yes, I think so. I think it's a game where sorry, I got really bad sniffles late at night.
I got some problems, but yeah, go on.
I think it's a game where the gameplay and the story are both so good that they don't need to rethink it, and they're in this great position where not many people really had that many bad things to say about it. And the reviews they got on it were great. From what I remember, I wasn't really paying that much attention, but I mean, were you? When it initially came out, were you paying attention to the reviews?
Really good, stellar reviews across the board. The only criticism was from hardcore Deus Ex fans that didn't like that the boss fights were still not able to be completed non-lethally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Also, the biggest criticism was the ending. It was push button to get ending. You know?
Yeah,
that was also another big criticism. Aside from that, you're right. The storyline obviously needs a big rethink, because they need to come up with a whole new one, which is fine. I trust them. They're great. I don't know when it's going to take place. 35 as a rough guess? What are you thinking? Maybe a little later than that? 40?
I think it's going to be really soon after the last game, from what it looked like.
Oh no, it's actually got a time. They've said. I think it might be 2 years. What's it?
I told you.
Yeah, you're probably right.
It looked to me like it was very soon after. If it's still orange, it's in the same decade. No.
Because there was mounting tensions at the end of Human Revolution.
And to me, if Adam Jensen's in it, it can't be that far after, because I feel like like at a certain point, Adam Jensen no longer becomes relevant. So I feel like. I mean, most characters just are no longer relevant.
It's 2 years. It's 2 years. It would be 2029.
Exactly. So after 2 years, Adam Jensen is still perfectly verifiably relevant in the story and can be, depending.
How relevant is he to this story, though?
Well, we don't know. It depends on how relevant they make him. And it depends what the story is. Is the story about fighting the government? Then I'd say he's pretty relevant because.
What the fuck have the government done? They're so like non.
Well, not the government. Sorry, I'll say the military-industrial complex that is the Illuminati.
FEMA.
Anyway, but basically, is it fighting them? If so, I think Adam Jensen could have a really interesting storyline about him. Sort of just becoming that kind of guy. Even though it's sort of leaning to that, but I think he needs to be pushed a little more. I think if the story is about tension with the augmented people, I don't see Adam Jensen really having a point there because it's like, what? Basically, if it is about that, I feel like Adam Jensen would be painted as the bad guy because at the end of the day, in this universe. From the player's perspective, the augmented people are the nice people. You want to be augmented. It's not fun to be a normal person.
They're not all this.
No. But you yourself, as a player character, are going to be augmented, because not being augmented is boring. So because of that, you're probably going to lean towards the plight of the augmented folks. And I think if Adam Jensen takes this aggressive stance against both the government and the augmented folks, sort of like a I hate everyone kind of guy, he is going to be an antagonist. He can't be pushed as a protagonist in a good way. You know what I mean? That came out kind of weird because it's late at night. But
I think they'll struggle to put Adam Jensen... I feel like I struggled to get on board with him in Human Revolution, actually, as a character. I struggled to get on board with him through a lot of it. I thought the only story that it made sense for him to see through to the end was the Megan storyline, and I also thought, loyalty to his boss. I felt like he doesn't really have any place in the big metaphysical debate.
He's kind of a Neo-like character from Matrix. He's kind of like a very straight-faced kind of non-complex badass. He's like Dirty Harry. He's fun to watch, but you think about it and you're like, why is he doing any of this? What is his reason? He's like a Duke Nukem of sorts. He's classic, but he doesn't have any depth really to his character.
He has depth, but he's still not the most lovable of people.
Well, if you dig deep enough, you're always gonna find oil. But
he's got depth to him.
And if you dig farther, you're going to find gold. But if you dig farther than that, you're going to find magma. Anyway.
Look, I just feel like he's not the most relatable protagonist in the world. And if you push any further than the story that finished at the end of Human Revolution, you're going to have a few troubles. Yeah, that would be my thing. I hope he's not the protagonist. The more I talk about it, the more I want him not to be.
Also, if he is the protagonist, that means it might be in Michigan again. And I'd like them to change the scenery.
What was my predictions? My predictions are Prague, Paris, Hong Kong, and Montreal.
Well, that would be interesting to see Europe. I think definitely.
I think Prague is confirmed. I think someone said in the trailer somewhere they're in Prague.
It would be really cool, going to Montreal and doing a skiing mission. No, but
I mean, Montreal was really very quick in Human Revolution. You only got to go there for what, an hour?
Yeah. It wasn't long.
Wait, no, you were there for a decent amount. Is that where you fought Bitch Tits, the electric lady? You fought her in Puddcast, right?
Oh, Bitch Tits! Yeah. Yes. So you were there for a good... But you didn't get to see the city.
No, not at all.
And
the city looked like Detroit.
yeah, it looked like the same city. So I think they can really give Montreal its own theme, its own feeling, its own purpose, its own Canadian.
I imagine they'll just go there for an hour again and Mankind Divided. Because Puddcast is... that's another thing we haven't talked about from the trailer already. Puddcast is still there.
Yeah. And the lady announcer. Yeah.
Yep, Eliza Kassan.
I'm Eliza Kassan, and I've got an even weirder hairdo than last game. That's
and
the
I'm
first
still
thing I said.
very anti-Og.
And I'm still very obviously fed this information by a higher power.
And I'm still very obviously not real.
And I'm very obviously not a real investigative reporter. Have you ever seen me on the street investigating or reporting?
Have you noticed that Eliza Kassan's live interviews are only ever conducted with Bill Taggart and Hugh Darrow? Coincidence? I think not.
Okay, we all played the first game. No, I mean, we all played the Human Revolution, but well, we didn't all play it. I'm not gonna say that, but if you haven't played it, go play it. Anyway, I don't really have much more to say about the new game because they really haven't said that much about the new game. So I think this might be a good time to split off to another topic, unless you have anything else to say about it.
We talked a lot about it. I'm very excited about it now.
I'm excited
really
about it. Yeah,
excited.
I think it has a lot of potential. It also, and I think it's in a position where there's a good chance they will not let us down. And I like games that are in that kind of position. Game developers who, hey, you don't have to really work hard to figure out what everyone likes. You just need to do what you do best, and that's create a good story and build on already great gameplay. Anyway,
So before we wrap up this topic, I want to talk about a book I found that I hadn't read before in Human Revolution.
Okay.
Yesterday. So it's Global Politics 2026, Chapter 6, I believe. The Middle East. Do you know anything about what happened in the Middle East in the game?
I forget. You'll have to refresh my memory.
They united together under one Islamic State.
Really?
Yep. And they took over Israel. They conquered Israel in 2015. And then their oil reserves in the Middle East dried up in 2015. They all dried up. No more oil in the Middle East. And their economies basically what's the opposite of skyrocketed? Plummeted down. But because of the United Islamic State being so being so coordinated and together, they managed to survive the oil crisis and stay pretty damn strong. And, they pretty much made the area quite peaceful in the Middle East. It was one Islamic State. The only problem was Israeli guerrilla fighters, or as the Islamic State called them, terrorists. I love that so much. Anyway, that's what happened to the Middle East.
I think that is really interesting, and I think there's a couple examples. The only one I can pick off the top of my head of mainly what's interesting is currently there's like the ISIS terrorist organization, which they call themselves the Islamic State, and there's always been talk of that, what if all these warring factions just got together and formed something similar to the Ottoman Empire, a sort of united kingdom.
Islam.
Yeah. And it makes sense. I'd be for it. I'd be all for it because it would create peace, and it just makes sense because the borders of the modern countries in that region were drawn up by a whim. Like in the late 1800s, early 1900s, they weren't. People didn't think about how they were drawing up these borders, and because of that, that's why so much tension exists today. So if they just united, I think it would really help that. But one interesting thing is Deus Ex has had, I think there's two examples, but the only one I can think of in the past of predicting the future was in Deus Ex 1 when they show the New York skyline. The Twin Towers aren't there.
Yeah.
And they imply that a insurgent terrorist attack brought them down. Now let's remember, guys, Deus Ex 1 was made before 2001. So they predicted the future there. You can come up with whatever Illuminati, Eidos Montreal terrorist plot theories you want to. No, but
well, it wasn't Eidos Montreal at the time.
Oh, who developed the first one?
Eidos Interactive.
Oh, that's right. Anyway, but I just think that's really interesting. And I think
let's also keep in mind that in that game, the Statue of Liberty had its head missing. But, let's not dwell on the little things.
Yeah. I'm not saying, hey, who knows? That head could go missing any day now.
Look, we've still got 35 years. So, yeah, you're right. Plus, haven't they rebuilt the Twin Tower? Haven't they built, like, a tower on top of that now?
Yeah. It's called the Liberty or Freedom Tower. I don't know, something like that. It's pretty big. It's supposedly like the tallest. When it's finished, it might already be finished, but when it's finished, it's supposedly supposed to be the tallest tower in the world, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's built right on top of the site. Not on the footprint of the two towers. They left that as like a memorial, but it's built right next to it on ground zero of the site. But anyway, yeah. So they didn't predict that they were going to build a new, even bigger tower. But the point of it is they were very spot on with that one prediction, and I just think it's interesting. They also predicted the thing about the Islamic State, which maybe that could happen in the next 50 years. I could see it happening. I'm not sure. I don't know. I feel like if that did happen and then they attacked Israel, there'd be a nuclear war.
Oh fuck! Yeah, that's so. I think it lasted 6 months in the game. Like, that's what they were saying.
I mean, I feel like it would last 6 minutes in the real world. A sort of Fallout scenario. The war only lasts a few minutes. But,
yeah.
Yes. That's all about that, before we get weird with all the predictions and the terror plots.
It's just the books in that game are really awesome.
The books are awesome. And the news, all the lore in that game is really cool.
That's the reason why the setting is so good, is because you can look back at the development of nanotechnology and augmentations through the books, lectures by Hugh Darrow, the development of China as a superpower and Heng Xia as the, melding pot of augmentations, Taiyang Medical, right? Even if you don't know Taiyang Medical is Illuminati, the rise and the destruction of all the other augmentation companies as Taiyang Medical just aggressively grab their market share. Sarif Industries, the last remaining augmentation competitor, really. It's just so cool. And that's why the setting is so good, is because you can see all these political changes that affect the game you're playing.
Yeah. I think...
I'm done now.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
There you go. I ranted for the last time on how awesome that series is.
Not the last time.
For this podcast.
Okay. That's. I was like, but yeah. But anyway, the point of this is check out the trailer. And if you haven't played Human Revolution, this gives you a chance to play it before the game comes out in 2016. You have a whole year.
Yeah.
So do it. You have no excuse not to. It goes on sale for really cheap when it goes on sale.
Get director's cut. It's worth it.
Yeah, but I've seen it for like $4.
Yeah.
Seriously, it is, and it's worth $60. So don't think like it's a really good game.
Killing Floor 2.
Killing Floor 2. That's another game that's coming out. It's coming out May 1st. It's coming out May 1st.
No, April 21st.
April 21st. Shit. Okay. Oh, that's right. We talked about it, which is also the anniversary of my channel. So it's a match made in heaven. No, but
Killing Floor 2 is the sequel to the critically acclaimed 2009 title Killing Floor, which was a horde-based wave shooter of some kind with really nice gun physics and an economy system, which was really nice.
Yeah, the economy system's awesome. It's my favorite part about the game, the way it scales and the way if you mess up in your economy, in your scaling, you can totally fuck up the game. Like if you don't make the right purchases or you mess up, you're just screwed in the later rounds. Like because you need to start upgrading your weapons if you really want to take on the last couple rounds of zombies.
Yeah.
And you need to work together really well. I think it's a game that really rewards like Call of Duty Zombies. It's completely opposite from that. Call of Duty Zombies is a game that rewards staying apart in almost all matters of that game. You want to stay apart. In Killing Floor, almost all the time, you do not want to stay apart. You will get fucked in the ass over and over again. You want to stay together, stay tight, stay clumped, and shoot every zombie that comes your way. Which in my mind is a more realistic zombie experience. I think in a real zombie apocalypse, you wouldn't want to stay apart. You'd want to stay clumped together and in a group. Well, not too clumped together, but you want to stay in a group. And I think it's a really good game, and I can't wait for the Killing Floor 2. I haven't watched any trailers or anything because I don't want to find out anything before it comes out. I just want to play it. So, what do you know anything about it?
I know a decent amount. I've been watching a couple hours of gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, do anything specifically you want to tell me about?
Well, what I wanted to ask is, are there any major improvements to the game that change how the any changes basically.
The biggest change I've seen, the biggest change is the lighting system.
The lighting system.
Yeah, that would probably. I can't think of a change.
Better flashlights.
No.
Oh shit.
Let's say you're fighting in a metro, okay?
Uh-huh.
The more you fight there, the more the lights could get damaged, and then they'll go out and it's pitch black in there, and you've got to move on to somewhere else. Yeah.
That's cool. Oh
so,
man.
That's the biggest change. Is the lighting system forces you to keep moving.
Oh shit. That's spooky.
Also, the way difficulty works. So instead of making the enemies do more damage and take more damage at higher difficulty levels, now they give them all new move sets.
So they don't do more damage, they just have new moves that do more damage.
I think they have maybe do a bit more damage, but they definitely don't take more damage. They take exactly the same amount of damage. That's confirmed.
Okay, that's cool.
They have new movesets like the bloater. What's his name? I think he's just a bloat. The bloat, in the regular game, if you shoot him, he's just going to keep walking at you. But if you play it on the hardest difficulty, if you shoot a bloat, he charges at you to try and explode before he dies.
Oh, okay. I see.
The stalkers do like flips and shit and jump on you and stuff like that. And I think I don't think they need to change the flesh pound personally, but I'm sure he has a new move.
I'm sure he was already tough before, but they're gonna make him tougher. Yeah, I that's cool. That's really cool. Those are all improvements I'm totally for. If they make the game tougher, at the end of the day, I can always just decrease the difficulty I play on. So I guess I can deal with that. It's already feels like a really tough game to me. So I'm excited to see how they make it tougher, and like I'm glad that they're not just making the enemies harder and harder to kill, because I think there is a certain skill level in precisely shooting for the head and those sorts of things to where you can make it to round 10 if you are precise and accurate and you have a decent gun, you know.
Yeah.
And they're not just bullet sponges.
I think 7 is the average round length. Game length. I think 7 is usually what the normal game length is.
For you and me, or just you, or what are you talking about?
The game length. Just in general, that's the normal for the game.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You said 10, 7 is usually the Patriarch round.
Oh, okay. I play on a lot with 10, but yeah, you're right. It is 7 on a lot of them. Most of them, I'd say, yeah. Never mind. But...
Okay. Yeah. So yeah. There's also new perks. There's a lot of new perks, but they're not adding them all in early access, which is what April 21st release is, and also and also you're less punished for going off perk with your weapon choices now.
Mm-hmm.
Which I don't love that change personally, but hey, whatever. It doesn't matter that much. Oh, and you can run now, which. Personally, just puts a little bit of a solly on things. Don't know about you.
I like running.
I like that new players didn't know you had to pull your knife out to move faster.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. I don't care what the new players know. I like running. I think it makes games feel more realistic, as long as you can't just run forever. As long as you have some sort of endurance system that balances the game out. In fact, that might actually make it harder if you can only run for very short bursts instead of being able to walk fast with a knife infinitely.
But you can still walk fast with a knife.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind. Then that just makes the game easier. So yeah, that's all I have to say about Killing Floor 2.
Okay.
I'd like to talk about one last new game release, I think. Yeah. Which I don't know a ton about, but I can talk about it a little. And that is coming out May 4th, I think it was. Yeah, May 4th is a standalone DLC. I believe it's standalone. Yeah, a standalone DLC to Wolfenstein: The New Order called Wolfenstein: The Old Blood. It'll be released at $20, so we cannot expect this to be a very large...
That's quite steep for an expansion pack.
What I mean is it's not going to be as big as the original game, but it should be at the same time large enough to hold its own story and be complete. What I'm saying is, I'm not expecting it to be as long of a storyline as the main game, because the main game costs $60 on release. But you're right. It is a little. It's a. Is it a ton for an expansion pack? I mean,
these days, it's about £5 overpriced, I'd say.
Okay, Call of Duty Fiend. No, just but no, I'm just kidding. You're right. A lot of expansion packs are $15. I think though, if it's standalone DLC, I think $20 is a reasonable price.
My question is, am I gonna get like 15 hours out of it?
That's I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how a lot of times standalone DLCs are paced poorly. But basically, the game is a prequel to Wolfenstein: The New Order. It is a basically set in. You are now going after there. Okay, so in Wolfenstein: New Order, there's a lot of implication that you've had to deal with General Death's Head in the past, and in the previous games, you really don't deal with him. You hear about him and you see him, but you don't really have this really tremendous story with him. But in New Order, they imply that you have all this history with him. And so now what they set up in the main story, they are now making full circle. And from what I can see, it's going to be a prequel where they show what history you had with him, what bad blood you had with him. And you're basically invading a castle. One thing I really like about this is New Order. One complaint, classic Wolfenstein shooter fans had about it, is the original Wolfenstein was all in castles. It was a dungeon crawler. It was very the culture of it was really cool. It was like this Nazi castle shit, and there was arcane shit. It was like magical mixed with Nazi mixed with medieval. And this standalone prequel looks like it's gonna be going more in the vein of the classic Wolfenstein shooter, which is great, and it's why it's called, I would say, why it's called the Old Blood. Also, it's kind of a play on words because the other one's called the New Order. Now the prequel is called the Old Blood. It's interesting. I don't really know much about it. I don't expect a ton, but I expect at least a good, decent game because it's being developed by id, and I expect decent games from id at the very least. And I hope for spectacular games from id because they're one of my favorite.
Actually, it's being developed by Machine Games.
It's being developed by Machine Games, but they're like id's bitch right now. If you watch interviews, Machine Games is basically like, yeah, we do things, but only if id says it's okay. No, no, but you're right. It is being developed by Machine Games with close association with id, and it's being sponsored or published by Bethesda. Anything you have to say about it? Probably not, I'm guessing, but...
Well, no. Do you know what publishers do?
Well, they fund the project.
Yeah.
They process the video game, and they make copies of it and put it on the shelves. And they do the marketing.
They do the marketing.
What do publishers do?
No, you pretty much got it. They fund the project and do the marketing. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay. Yeah. Just wondering because you said sponsor, and I was like, what? I didn't know if you quite knew what publishers.
I know what publishers do, but it is. I'm not it isn't the publisher in this. It's sort of being co-developed by. It's being the primary developer is Machine Games, but it is providing a lot of their staff and resources to develop.
Are you sure?
Yeah, definitely.
Because they're not mentioned on the Steam page anywhere.
Well, they're in the intro to the game.
And that might just be their engine.
And I've also seen, it's not just the engine. I've also seen interviews of the staff and read a little bit into it. They're involved quite a bit. Anyway, maybe I'll look into it some more, see how involved they are into it. But from what I've heard in the past, it seems like they're involved in it more than Not as much as a primary developer, but more than Bethesda would be.
Yeah, because Bethesda, there's no game developers in Bethesda Softworks. No, just Bethesda generally. There's no game developers in that company.
Yeah, wait. Is it called Bethesda Softworks or Bethesda?
I think it's Bethesda Softworks and the game development.
And then Bethsoft.
Bethesda. No, it's Bethesda Game Studios.
Okay.
I think it's the...
Never mind.
Yeah, Bethesda Softworks is the...
And Bethesda Game Studios is the developer. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, that's all I have to say about the Old Blood. Putty here has not played New Order yet.
No, because it's not cheap enough yet.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's a for me. New Order was a day one buy, and I was very happy with the purchase. But I understand.
Well, I had not liked the previous Wolfenstein, so I had no trust in it, and I still don't.
Wow. Still no trust in it after my excellent reviews.
I haven't played the game.
I feel very mistrusted. No, just anyway. So Putty has no trust in New Order. A game that's already been out for a year.
But I mean, it's not been a full year yet. But I will buy it once it goes to the right price.
Okay.
You know, it's one of those games that's on my wish list. It's just not ready yet.
I don't have a wish list. Do you have a wish list? Like on Steam?
It's huge. It's huge. My wish list on Steam is huge.
I used to have a wish list because when I was younger I didn't understand the concept, and I thought it was like a weird raffle where like like once a month Steam.
There are some events that actually give you games on your wish list.
Okay, yeah, I used to think it was a raffle that like once a month Steam gave a game to someone that was on their wish list, and I thought, oh, if I don't have games on my wish list, I'm missing out on the raffle.
I have 18 games on my wish list.
I think I might have one, maybe. I'll have to check. Probably none though. Yeah. So
this wish list is weird as hell.
I think I saw Nazi Zombie Army on there.
That is on there. Yeah, it's Zombie Army Trilogy.
Yeah. The Sniper Elite Zombie Army thing. Yeah.
See, here's the thing, because if you go to have you ever searched through your queues on Steam? Explore your queue.
Yeah, that's weird. What is that shit?
It just shows you games you might be interested in, and one of the options is to put it on your wish list.
Oh.
Yeah. Plus, whenever a game on your wish list goes on sale, it sends you an email.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a good reason to have the games on your wish list then.
Awesome, yeah. So I won't list them all, but Left 4 Dead 2 is on there. I know I should have already owned that. There's a couple of the Killing Floor 2 is on there. Black Ops 2 is on there. Rust, Metro 2033, Legend of Korra. Don't laugh, that's a good series.
Is it?
Yeah, it's great. It's much better than the original.
The video game.
No, wow, it's a good video game, but the series is a great.
But you're talking about the video game if you're talking about your Steam wish list.
Yeah, but I said it's a great series. When you laughed.
But are you talking? I just don't think of video games like that is that entertaining. It's been a while since I played one though.
What, a beat 'em up?
Is it a beat 'em up? Oh, that's what it is. Oh, never mind then. Okay.
What do you think it was? A visual novel?
I thought it was like a weird sort of classic adventure game, like a sort of.
Kind of is.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I call it a beat 'em up though, like a 3D beat 'em up. Okay. I think Legend of Aang would be better served in a fighting game because the Naruto fighting games are awesome.
Anywho, but yeah,
okay.
I think that's all for new releases.
No, it's not.
Oh no.
Call of Duty Black Ops 3.
Oh shit. Okay. Yeah.
It's announced this week. Plus, yeah, I want to talk about how awesome 2015 is going to be. So I've got another new release from later in the year that's not really announced yet that I'm going to talk about a little bit, and I've got one new release from earlier in the year that I'm going to talk about.
Jesus Christ.
This is the Jerk 2015 Off podcast. So yeah, Call of Duty Black Ops 3.
Well, and we're just beginning on the stretch of announces of games. So probably the next 4 podcasts at least, we'll probably have a little segment about game announcements, I'd guess. You know? Like,
maybe, yeah.
We're starting to get, maybe not the next 4 podcasts like straight in a row, but we're starting to get in that period.
What about like new games? Because this is it now for me. I don't think there's going to be any new ones that I'm going to be excited about.
Okay. Well, did you expect the Deus Ex?
No.
Okay, well, expect to be unexpected. No, anyway.
But like, if you ask me if a new title was released from what series would you be excited about it, Deus Ex would be on that list.
And you have no other games on that list?
Yeah, there's one. There is one game on that list now.
What?
That's not Fallout 4.
So no other game series?
No.
Okay.
What other game series would I be excited about that's not already coming out this year?
I have no idea. I just expected more. Anyway, yeah, I guess there's not really that many more. You know, Uncharted 4. No, just kidding.
All my favorite game series have already been topped up this year, or have been announced, except for Fallout.
Mm-hmm.
Monster Hunter, Pokemon is definitely coming out. Like, there's no doubt. It's coming out in November or October or December. Just rely on it. I said Monster Hunter, didn't I? Deus Ex and Killing Floor. Like, what else is there? You know?
Payday.
Nah, I wouldn't buy Payday 3 on day one. But yeah, Call of Duty Black Ops 3. Any initial hopes, wishes?
From me?
Yeah.
That Zombies is a standalone.
It's not going to happen.
Well, you asked for wishes.
Anything else?
About
the zombies mode?
I know it's not gonna come true, but that it's not set in the future. I meant the video game itself. About zombies? Wish list about zombies.
Because who gives a shit about the rest of it?
Well, if it wasn't set in the future, I might give a shit about it. Like, I might take the game a little more seriously, but it will be set in the future. So
it might not be. It might be 1960 again.
Well, then I'll consider it if they put together a decent title. But basically, the zombies. Any wishes I have for zombies, mainly, not really, honestly, because they're starting to get to the point where if they start pulling any more, they might spill the game guts all over the place. You know what I mean? Like, they're starting to add so much to the game where I think if they're starting to pull it to its max, stretch it too thinly. And I think if you pull a game too much, its basic concepts don't come out in the game anymore. And I just feel like in Black Ops 2, there were a lot of crazy shit that were not in Black Ops 1. I know the same basic concept was there, but if they continue to increase the amount of crazy shit in each game, eventually I don't think it'll really be zombies anymore. It'll be some sort of weird Easter egg thing. But anyway, that was poorly versed. It's late at night. I need coffee. I should have gotten coffee before I went down here. But yeah. What are your wishes for zombies? Because you've probably thought about it more than I have.
I haven't thought about it that much, but I'm excited.
You thought about it.
I'm excited because I liked a lot of the additions in Black Ops 2. I liked a lot of what Black Ops 2 did in zombies. I liked a lot of Black Ops 2. I thought the ways that they got additional perks, the things you could make, the constructible wonder weapons, the constructible turbines and Easter eggs were awesome. I loved transit. The whole idea of transit was awesome to me. Die Rise was just an excellent traditional zombies map with some great kiting routes. And Origins was just the perfect traditional zombies map. It feels more traditional than Derice. Origins feels like more akin to World at War than Derice did, and that's so impossible. I don't even know how to describe it. It was awesome. Origins is one of the best zombies maps.
Is Origins the one in World War One?
No, Origins is the one in a fictional universe.
Okay, which is the one in World War One? In the trenches.
There are trenches, but it's not World War One.
Oh, what is it?
It's a fictional universe.
So that is Origins, the one where you're in the trenches.
You're in the trenches.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's the one that's in the Wild West? Sort of.
Buried.
Buried, okay.
Yeah, which is also a great map. Awesome map. Also one where you can get, like, temporary Dr. Flopper on, which is great. But loved Black Ops 2. I thought I trust Treyarch. I always have. I think they're going to make a great multiplayer as well that I'll play. Yeah. I won't always will. I'm a little on my edge with Treyarch, but I do trust them, and I think they'll make a good game. And so, wholeheartedly, they're one of the very few developers that I trust to always make a good game. Probably two. Yeah, there's only two developers that I trust to always make a great game. That's the unfortunate situation of it. But Treyarch's definitely one of them, and I'll be right on my horse buying on day one because I'm stupid and I pay way too much money for these games. But hey, these are the only games I do it. 2015 is going to be an expensive year.
The only developer I wholeheartedly trust is id. That's the only one. But what was the other one that you wholeheartedly trust?
Eidos Montreal.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
who developed Invisible War?
Probably Eidos Interactive. Let me have a look. Deus Ex 2. And it is Iron Storm.
Well, that's a random thing.
Developed by Iron Storm and published by Eidos. Iron Storm, let's have a look. What have they done? Can I see their game titles? So, they made Dominion Storm Over Gift 3. They made Daikatanka. They made Deus Ex. Maybe they ported it to Mac. Anachronix. They made Thief Deadly Shadows. I think widely considered to be the worst of the Thief games. Yeah, they're a terrible developer. Yeah, there you go. That's them done for the day. This seems to be winding down a little bit. You got any topics to kickstart the podcast?
Oh, I just think the portion about video games is the portion about new releases is winding down. But I've got stuff to talk about. Yes. Yeah. Is there anything you want to say about Black Ops before we move on?
Well, there's nothing else to say. It's going to be a great game. I have no doubts. I trust it.
No doubts.
No doubts. They can't fuck it up. It's very hard.
It's 100% chance it'll be a good game.
No, but I don't have any doubts. Yeah.
Those are two contradictory statements. No, but yeah. Anyway, no, you're right. You're right. I think in the vein of zombies, I don't think they're gonna mess up zombies. I mean, they've
never let me down in multiplayer either. And fuck the campaign. Absolutely fuck the campaign.
Anywho,
to
me, the game is a failure if it doesn't have a good campaign. I think zombies is a great feature, but if it doesn't have a good campaign, then it shouldn't be a game.
But those campaigns are dreadful in almost every
This is why.
one of those shooters.
Ooh. What?
Battlefield campaigns are dreadful. They've been that way since Bad Company 2, which was decent at best. Call of Duty campaigns are pretty bad. Homefront was dreadful.
I loved the first 5 Call of Duty campaigns. So
I hated 4.
My thing is saying is I don't like modern war. I don't like modern war. I don't like modern shooters in general because of their general disregard for a good campaign. And that's why I'm so fervent about zombies being a standalone, because I don't like the idea of spending money on something that, I just and
you bought Galactic Civilization 3.
I didn't say I didn't say I don't make mistakes, Putty. Anyway, but yeah, I think I'd love zombies.
Honestly,
oh God, my cat just vomited. Shit.
Would you?
Anyway, what are you saying?
Would you honestly go into any Call of Duty game expecting a good campaign?
No, not now.
So why would you even consider it for Black Ops 3?
I'm not considering it. I'm saying that's why I have no doubts the game will fail in my mind. that's
You played a game today that has no single player.
Yeah, but that's the game. That's the game. Why are you including a campaign if
because it ticks a box, because it's a AAA that needs to tick a box for review scores.
That doesn't make any sense. Whatever.
Why does it frustrate you so much?
Because I'm a campaign focused player. I like to play the games by myself. That's why it frustrates me.
Cool, but literally you played a game today that only has multiplayer. Why can't you just consider Call of Duty to be a game that only has multiplayer?
Because it doesn't.
But ignore the single player. Everyone else does.
Okay. I won't, but okay.
Why? Explain to me why.
Because it... Maybe I can't explain it to you. Maybe it's one of those crazy idiosyncrasies of my person.
If they pressed delete on the keyboard, you would change your opinion about the game entirely if they just didn't have it there.
Or if it was... See, well, then it would be weird. But... what I want is the campaign to be better at the end of the day. I want the campaign to be better. I want it to be a good campaign.
But they can't make good campaigns.
Which is why I don't like them as a developer. I think that should be something you should be good at. Unless you only develop multiplayer games. Unless the games you develop are Dotas of the world.
Okay. Let's say. Okay. That your publisher says to you, okay, you've made this great multiplayer game that everyone plays, that is one of the most popular multiplayer games of its time. I mean, that was 5 years ago, but 3 years ago, but still. It's one of the most popular multiplayer games on the market, at one point the most popular multiplayer game on the market. You've got a great zombies mode that's got a big community to it as well. But we're not going to get higher than a 70 Metacritic unless you have a campaign in there. So just throw it together. You understand where that viewpoint comes from, right?
I understand where the viewpoint comes from.
Then why do you judge them on a campaign
viewpoints
that they don't care about?
What?
So why do you judge them on a campaign that they don't care about?
Because I think they should care about it. That's all. I understand the viewpoint, but I don't agree with it.
So do you think PlanetSide should focus on a campaign?
No.
So just because it's there, they have to make it good?
Yes! Yes, okay. To me it's like you're lying to them. Not only that, it's a game that used to have a good campaign, and that's the most insulting part. It used to
There's been more Call of Duties with bad campaigns than good campaigns.
Mm-hmm. That's really the insulting part to me.
No, because they didn't used to have a good campaign, because most people got into Call of Duty when it had a bad campaign. That's Call of Duty 4.
I love the Call of Duty 4 campaign. So now we're getting on a disagreement there as well. I thought the first 5 Call of Duty campaigns were all stellar. I think
if you liked 4, why didn't you like 6? Because lots of people who liked 4
I liked 6. I liked 6. This is campaign. I just don't think it was at 4's level. I thought it was decent. I thought it was pretty good. But I do think that's where the campaign declined. Mainly because, to me, 5, in my opinion, was the best campaign. That was the plateau of Call of Duty campaigns in my mind. And from there, from it to fall from so high to the Modern Warfare 2 campaign, that's why I don't think of it as highly. It was a decent campaign. And I think, and then, what was the game after Modern Warfare 2? Black Ops.
Black Ops. Great game. Great single player.
I thought the camp. Oh, so you liked the Black Ops campaign?
Yeah, it's probably my second favorite.
Okay. One time we brought it up and you said, fuck the campaign.
Well, fuck the campaign, because the campaign is a training for the multiplayer. That's all it is.
Oh, that's horrible training. NPCs
do
not act like the robots.
It's about getting your aim ready, about which
okay, well,
that's
true. If you're doing it for that kind of training, aim training and button training, yeah, that's true. It's a good tutorial, I suppose. It's a really long tutorial.
I mean, that's all it is. Like, in all honesty now, that is all it is. You seem to be the only one who thinks that the campaign matters. Because it just doesn't anymore in Call of Duty. It's there to tick a box. That's not what you should judge it on. Like, well, that's like judging Gears of War on its multiplayer, which is good.
Which was awesome.
It's not. It's
to
dead
me,
now.
The game would be. Oh, that's not true.
Right.
You can still find a game on Gears of War 3 multiplayer. In fact, you can still find a game on most multiplayers. I mean, not most, but most that have come out in the last. I will say confidently that most games that have come out in the last 7 years, you could still find a game on the multiplayer servers. Now,
yeah, but it's not the same as when it first came out, is it?
No multiplayer game is. But to me,
with the exception of things like PlanetSide.
To me, as long as you can still find a game within 1 minute, then the multiplayer is still good enough to play.
You couldn't find a game within 1 minute on most Call of Duties like a week after launch because they were so busy servers.
Well, okay, I guess that's a different thing. if the server's really busy, but yeah, I don't think I've ever played a Call of Duty multiplayer a week after launch. Are they really that busy to where you have to wait like an entire minute?
They're probably not anymore, but you obviously. That's the thing. I think that's why you don't understand it. You weren't there. You weren't there on the ground floor. You don't.
I was there on the ground floor. I played Call of Duty 1. That is the ground floor of the game.
Sure, but that's not really where the game. Like, that wasn't the best game. That wasn't where it. Like,
you're right. 2 was the best game overall.
I think the argument is between 4, Black Ops. I think it's between 4 and Black Ops always. Because
why 4?
Those.
You didn't like 4.
Because 4's multiplayer. It's about multiplayer.
Okay.
That's all it's about. That's the series has been about multiplayer since 2008.
So, like, you don't even want to have this argument with me. Like,
what do you mean?
Because I'm saying that it's not all about multiplayer, and you're saying, well, then we're not going to have that discussion. Like,
what do you mean?
Basically, you're saying no, that can't. Like, my opinions can't be counted because the series is all about multiplayer. I'm saying Call of Duty 2 to me is the best game in the series.
I think you should separate the series because they're different series. I think you should you shouldn't judge 4 by 2.
When I look at it like that, then I even more want Zombies to be a standalone. I want it so badly. Because
I'm not arguing against that.
I don't care about the multiplayer. Because I play it, and yes, it's good, but it's just, I never get that much into it to where I get that many play hours out of it. I just don't get that much into shooter multiplayer of that kind. I really like Battlefield 3, but that was probably the most I've ever played a multiplayer game was Battlefield 3, and I don't think I'll ever play a multiplayer game that much again. I get into little bursts here and there, but that's probably the most I'll ever do. It's like playing once after school every single day for like 5 months. No, we're not every single day, but like every other day for like 5 months. That's probably the most I'll ever play a multiplayer game.
Interesting.
Anyway, but yeah.
I'm not arguing that Zombies shouldn't be a separate thing. It should. I would prefer it. It's just not going to be because it makes more money the other way. But what I will say is my problem is that I have a problem with judging a game that's main product is its multiplayer and has a tacked on campaign for the campaign, because the multiplayer is what you should be judging because that's what they're selling to you. And that if you bought on day one a Call of Duty game for $60, you probably would get 60 hours out of it if you wanted to play Call of Duty, if you knew what they were selling and you got in on the ground floor. Otherwise, like, yeah, Zombies gives the game life, and now, today, because the game cost that much back in the day, you're paying more to buy into Zombies now. Yes, that's true, and that's awful. But for games that didn't have Zombies, just don't buy them now. Why? Like, you shouldn't. Like, they're year-long experiences that you buy then and there. Like, there's MMOs that you pay £8 to have a month experience. You know, it's not a permanent thing. It's same with, like, going to the movies. You don't buy a ticket to the movies for a permanent thing. You have it for a day experience. Same with going to a sports game. It's not a permanent thing. It's a temporary experience. If going on holiday, you know, I could go on, but I feel like I feel like I'm starting to get annoying. But that's my point, is that there are certain parts of media that are temporary, that you pay for a time scale, not for permanency, not for a piece of art. It's for an experience. And that's what Call of Duty is.
I think that's one big difference, is I really don't like temporary experiences. I like all my experiences to be something I can go back to later, even if I won't. Most of them I do, though, go back to later and experience once, twice, 3, maybe like 5 times. That's why I like YouTube so much. Because it's not only free, but you can experience these videos, even if they weren't meant to be experienced, you can experience them way later, after they've been doing. And that's why, on Netflix, even though I don't buy DVDs because Netflix have so many movies, one reason I think people should buy DVDs is sometimes Netflix takes their movies off. like they'll have a really good movie on there, and then all of a sudden the next day it'll be gone. They'll just remove it for no reason. It's like, why'd you do that?
Save bandwidth, yeah.
So I always like, I like something that I can pull out off of the shelf, or the metaphorical technical shelf, because most things I don't have on the shelf anymore. I like something I can pull off the shelf and experience again. I don't like an experience that's only temporary. And for me, a temporary experience is only something you do with other people. You don't, I mean, you can, but for me, I don't have temporary multiplayer experiences with myself. I have them with other people. I don't go to the movies by myself. I go to them with other people. So I think, in its very definition, for me, a temporary experience has to be experienced with other people. I don't know about you. I mean, wouldn't you say that? Like, if you're doing something that's temporary, probably you want to do it with your friends.
I mean, most of the time, but not all the time. I could use a good holiday by myself on a case. Ooh, is he gone?
I'm here. My cat really knocked over my mic.
Yep, you're really quiet.
Can you hear me?
You need to keep ramping up the volume.
Well, that's gonna be weird. God damn it, my cat. Oh shit. Now I just did another thing. Oh no, not my cat. Okay, you gotta get the fuck out of here, cat.
Quality entertainment, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm never letting him down here again. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
A good holiday can be enjoyed alone, and a good sports game can be enjoyed alone. I feel good pay-per-view products can be enjoyed alone. I feel, yeah, especially pay-per-view movies. Like just sitting in the home, like, yeah, I'll pay £3 to watch this movie.
Wait,
once.
a pay-per-view movie?
Yeah, you don't get those Sky Box Office.
Oh, I mean, yeah, they have those like on-demand movies. I would never pay for it. That's yeah, but we do have. Never mind, because we do have. Before Netflix, me and my family especially would go to the video store, like the rent a video store, probably like 3 times a week. So that's not
rent a video for a day. Yeah.
Yeah. But actually, like for the week, because we were bad at returning them on time. But yeah.
Here we had 1 night, 3 nights, and 5 nights. That's what we had. And I usually went for the 1 night because I was like, I'll watch this tonight. It's cheaper.
But yeah, for me, most experiences I want to experience, like most temporary experiences I want to experience with other people, and most long-term experiences I want to save for myself.
But I mean, that's what we did. We didn't just sit. Well, most of the time, we didn't just sit there playing on our own. Like the point was, you're there with usually 6 of your friends.
Exactly.
And that's what you get. That's the year that you got out of it. What do you mean by exactly? I don't get your point.
No, I agree. You would do that with all your friends.
Yeah. Yeah, so you understand that that's the product they were offering, not a long-term investment where if you bought now, you'd have it for years and years and years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, I mean, maybe, like, you're not a multiplayer gamer in a big way, like, are you?
I like if I play a multiplayer game, it is almost always because one of my friends wants me to play it with them. I don't play multiplayer games because I got really excited about it. I only do that on single player games. On multiplayer games, I do it because a friend wanted me to play with them, and I like that friend, so I get the multiplayer game because it's a way to interact with them. But that's how I view multiplayer games personally. I view them as a way to interact with people, and I think that's one of the great things about them. Is it's a great way to interact with other people. It's not necessarily social, but no, it is social. It's social, and it's a way to experience fun while not actually being in the same room with them. So that's one of the great things about multiplayer games, and that's how I like to view them.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I like multiplayer games like on a wide scale. I like meeting new people through multiplayer games. That's a great thing to always go through. Like that's why I like MMOs.
It's great
so
if
much.
you can. I watch out though. I don't like 9 out of 10 people I meet on multiplayer games are insane. So,
well,
I'm one of them. So,
I'm only friends with them to play that game.
Okay, I see what you mean. So you like meeting them to play the game.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then,
you're not really meeting people then.
Well, you get to know them. You get to know them reasonable.
It's sort of like a fuck buddy, but for a game. It's like,
hey, if
you send them a text message at midnight saying, "Okay, come on, let's play."
I think we have different viewpoints on what a game should be. So I'm very open to lots of different forms of medium, which is why I can.
Me too. I just think they have different purposes.
Sure, but you seem to think the game has failed if it only provides a multiplayer experience.
No, I love games that only provide a multiplayer experience.
You just think if they tack a campaign on the end and it's not good, then that should be judged.
Yeah, definitely.
So you think, what if Deus Ex Mankind Divided came out and they put a shitty little multiplayer on the end? Would you judge them because they failed in that multiplayer?
Yes. Yeah, I would judge the shit out of that game if they put on a multiplayer and did not. Like, you shouldn't do that. You should. What was the point? What was the point of that?
Okay. All right. Cool. All right then.
Okay. Yeah. That's
Call of Duty 2 had a pretty shitty multiplayer.
I would give Call of Duty 2.
Mm-hmm.
I guess at the time I didn't really know about multiplayer, so that's another thing. I didn't know about multiplayer that it was even in existence until I played.
But you can look back and evaluate it now.
Modern Warfare.
But you could look back and evaluate it now.
No, I haven't played the multiplayer on Call of Duty 2. I guess I could.
Okay.
I'll do it after this call. I don't know if they still have servers, but I'll do it after this call.
uh, I just one day I will find. I just don't see like you see. I just see such a flaw in that to judge something based on not its main product. You know what I mean?
You judge something on its entirety, not on only one thing.
But it's not its entire. It's like its little bonus feature. It's not its main thing. It's offering you something, and it's like, well, that's over there. They wanted us to put it in, but just ignore that. But then you're like, oh no, but that's terrible. Yeah, but this is so good. But yeah, but that's terrible. But this is so good. You know, they're like, I worked so
where in the
so
marketing
hard
of
on this
Call of Duty
multiplayer.
does it say to ignore that?
No, but you know, if you're in the community, you know. You know, surely you know, like you've been around the gaming industry long enough to know.
No one until you has told me, oh, ignore campaign on Call of Duty. I just told myself, oh, this is a shitty campaign. They are not good developers. that's why.
Battlefield 3 had a terrible campaign.
I liked it.
Do you think the game's terrible? Really? You had to wait for your soldiers to open doors for you. You couldn't open doors on your own.
You wouldn't like Gears of War then.
Oh, I'd hate that. I'd hate that.
You have to work together with your soldiers to open doors and shit. And
yeah.
I mean, it's not a long wait. It takes about a second. They do it. They run up and do it. Once the enemies are killed, they start opening the door.
Why can't I open the door?
You can open the door.
Oh, well, there you go. That's fine then. But
they'll probably get there faster than you.
That's fine. But in Battlefield 3, it's like, oh, my teammates are a little behind, so I can't open doors. Only they can because they want to give me the storyline when they want to. You know, and I just didn't like it. It was horrible. Mm-hmm. It's worse than Call of Duty's for the most part for me. Yeah, because there was a lot of just sitting there waiting as they showed me pretty scenery.
I mean, I'll say this: I don't remember it that well, so it probably wasn't that good if I don't remember the campaign. Like,
but that's the thing. I wouldn't judge the game based on that because I know that's probably just a tick box. You know, I judge it based on the multiplayer, which is what it's offering. That's like you watch most of the trailers. It's probably the multiplayer. You know, you watch. Most people are going to be buying it for the multiplayer.
I mean, I think for me it's a respect thing. The reason I like Gears of War 3 so much is not necessarily because it changed my life in a way it did, but that's not necessarily why I respect it, and it's not because it was my favorite game, because there are like 5 or so games that I probably enjoyed more than it. But I respect it so much because every level of it, in my opinion, was at really top quality. And the even if I didn't, I bought it for the campaign, but the multiplayer, I will argue, was as good as the campaign. It was great. In fact, it won an award, and the campaign didn't. So that says something to you. No, but so that's like a game that I respect so much because of what they did. And I like games that they if you put a feature in, you put your all into that feature. You don't put it in as a bonus feature. Okay? I don't like bonus features. Unless it's literally labeled, this is a bonus feature, it will take you 5 minutes to complete it. In which case, okay, then that's a bonus feature. But you don't put in a 40-hour, not a 40-hour, but a 20 to 40-hour campaign is not a bonus feature.
Well, that's not Call of Duty. It's 5 to 6.
Oh, it takes me way longer than 5 hours. On the hardest difficulty?
No, but like on the medium difficulty.
Huh. I guess I haven't played one in a while, but it used to be like
they're notoriously short. That's their thing. That's their bad. That's the biggest criticism of them is this takes like 4 hours. You know, it's dreadful.
Oh, dude. Well,
Modern Warfare 2 especially.
I guess it's just been a while, but like a World at War, if you play it on the hardest difficulty, it takes me a full 24 hours. It takes me maybe 2 days. Like you could play that over a stretch of multiple days because some of the missions are incredibly difficult. But yeah, I don't know. I always have been a slower player than other people. I'm not a very good gamer. Like I'm not good at playing video games, so my experiences are always going to be a little longer in those campaigns. It's always going to take me a little longer, on average, than most players. But that's me and everything. I'm a little slow. I've always been slow at typing, slow at writing. I'd like to think the final product comes out just as good, but I'm slow at executing. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, for me, I want to get onto my ASMR topic, but if you have anything else to say about Black Ops or multiplayer in general, which is what the topic has moved to.
Yeah, I just think, like, especially, like, one of the things that you just mentioned is, oh, yeah, they put it in, so they put their heart and soul into it. Well, a lot of times it's even made by a different company. Like, they just outsource it. Like, that's what happened in the last, like, 4 Call of Duty games. Raven something or other have been making the campaigns.
Really?
Yeah, they just
Who's
outsource
Raven
it.
something or other.
I'll have a look now. But like, what's the Activision? So yeah, because they just it's not what they want to work on. That's another dev's responsibility because that's just not what the game is. It's just here's some money and make a decent enough campaign.
Is the developer in?
It's just Raven Software.
Is the developer in the intro or in the credited? Is it accredited to the game?
It's credited, but I don't think it's like in there.
Okay.
Like it's like if you look on Wikipedia, it says there you go.
Well, I guess that's proof right there that the developer agrees with you, because if they don't accredit the developer of the campaign in the intro to their video game, if it doesn't say Raven developed the campaign for this or Raven at the beginning, if it doesn't show their intro, then
it's always Infinity Ward or Treyarch.
Then that's a tremendous amount of disrespect for their campaigns.
Yeah, because they don't care. They're there because if they didn't have them in, then the reviewers would take them to task for it.
Who? Which reviewer would take them to task for taking out a shitty campaign that no one likes?
The reviewers on Metacritic. It's tick boxes. That's how Metacritic reviews. And Metacritic has too much power in the industry.
God, Metacritic is so stupid. Anyway. Wait, so a game gets rated less if it doesn't have campaign?
Yeah, and also it's also the same with multiplayer. A game gets rated less if it doesn't have a multiplayer.
What if it costs less?
What do you mean it doesn't take into account costs?
Oh, that's stupid. Anyway,
like you can just like you can look at it as a fact. FIFA has a tacked on multiplayer mode, and it gets 99s every year on Metacritic. It's just how it is. Like, let's have a look. Metacritic 84 this year for FIFA 15. One of the worst games I've played for what it does. It has a monopoly on the market. That means nobody else can actually make a football game because they can't use the proper players. It's one of the leeches on the industry. It's a terrible game, not from like a game standpoint, but just because it just stifles innovation. And yet there it is.
They own
84.
The rights to the players' names.
Yep.
That seems
not names,
partially illegal.
Not names, faces and kits. You can't use. Oh, and also club names.
That's even worse. They own their faces
in video games.
Okay.
But yeah, it's one of those things. What was the recent Call of Duty Advanced Warfare?
It's like I just imagine like a football player going out on a date and he's about to kiss the girl, and some bodyguard from FIFA says, "No touching the goods."
83 for the most recent Call of Duty. 83.
It's not that good, actually. Well, I guess it is good. I guess above a 70 is good. Below a 70 is probably... I don't know. I mean... See, Metacritic's so weird. Who even knows? But for me, if the game's not above a 90 on Metacritic, it's bad. But that's because I don't really rate Metacritic as that good.
Well, Metacritic has so much sway in the industry. But, like, in my scale, it should be if you're above 50, you're good. If you're below 50, you're bad. And then 50 is an average game. That's what I would say. If you're 50 or higher, it's worth spending. So
you think it's worth spending on half of the games ever developed?
Half of the games ever, like, yeah. No, because it's a bell curve. It's a bell curve.
Yeah, but if the term is average, that means that half of anything is above average, theoretically.
No, because it's a bell curve. You don't know how averaging works.
Half of a bell is equal to the other half of the bell. That's like I know what a bell curve works, and the center of it.
Most things are in the center. It's like in averages in the bell curve, most of the games are in the center.
Yes.
It might be half.
But
it probably
the total of the right side is still equal to the total of the right side to the left side, and both equal 50%.
Okay, I think you're right. Yeah, you're right. But yeah, I would 50% of the games that like if you take out the chaff, then 50% of the games ever like developed are worth spending money on, definitely at a time in their life cycle. If you take off like bloatware, like those.
Wait, what?
if you take out like those £3 shitty, if you take out Bad Rats, those type of games.
But Bad Rats is below that bell curve.
Bad Rats is 0. Bad Rats is the absolute epitome of 0. Bad Rats is not an average game. It's not below average. It's the worst game in existence. It's a 0.
That is still below average.
yeah, which means it's not worth spending money on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
ever.
Okay, so you don't have to. You don't have to take that out of the equation. You wouldn't have to. You wouldn't have it
you're
to
right.
buy it anyway because it's below average.
Yeah, you're right. I'm just saying. I think there's a lot more chaff than there is. So maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. Actually, the chaff would bring it up more to average than. I mean, averaging's so weird. I can't wrap my head around it in the best days. But
anyway, I think in a lot of industries, averaging is unfair, and it's tilted in a weird direction that's not really true to the industry. And I think Metacritic is definitely, we can both agree, a horrible way of scoring any game's merit.
Yeah.
But I think in every other department of scoring a game's merit, we disagree. Yeah, that's. I can't think of what we were talking about. It's way too late at night. I cannot keep a train of thought longer than 2 cabooses. I cannot keep a train of thought running at this time. But what were we talking about?
I think it'd be a good transition if you want to talk about review practices, because I'd like to talk about that.
Okay, are we ever gonna talk about ASMR? No.
Yeah, we've still got a good half an hour left.
It's gonna get scrubbed out at the end. I'm gonna have 5 minutes to talk about it. Anyway, what were we talking about?
We can go over, dude. It's fine.
Okay.
So, review practices. I actually like to take it back. In video games, I don't think 5 should be the average. I think that's unfair. You're right. 5 should be a game worth spending money on. Anything above that it gets more and more 5 is you should spend money on if this and that. 6 is you should if this and that.
Well, a lot of rating systems do that. What they say is if this game is rated as a 5, only buy it if you're into this genre. That's what they say. And I think that's a really good rating system, because it's sort of if you're not into this genre, definitely don't buy this. And a 10 is even if you're not in this genre, you need to own this game. It's a classic, So. Yeah.
I just see a lot of review systems just if it's not an 8, it's shit. I see a lot of review systems if it's not a 7, it's crap. You know what I mean?
Well, I think the rating should be if it's below 3, it's shit heel. If it's below 5, you probably shouldn't buy it. If it's below 7, you should really consider the purchase. Think on it. And if it's from an 8 to a 10, I think you're pretty safe buying it no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
But I think 7's still a good game. I just think you need to think about whether you are into that kind of game, because if it's not really good and you're not into it, you go into that game already has a disadvantage in your opinion sway, if you know what I mean. It's already going into the game with a few punches in. It doesn't have a good chance of coming out the other end of your opinion. Well, oh Jesus Christ, I should not be able to talk this late at night. But
it's only 3.
I don't know why. Okay, can't explain it. My brain. But yeah, no. That what about review systems did you want to talk about?
We were on the right track. You didn't have to say that.
Okay, I won't talk.
In my opinion. 1 is has a pedestal as one of the worst games of all time. There's a very small minority of these. 2 is probably one of the worst games in its genre. It's an anti-classic. 3 is it's a pretty shit game. It's not great. It's got a few kinks. It's really buggy, or it's not very good. 4, it's alright. It's not great. If it's on sale and you like the genre, go for it. 5 is it's probably worth the money, especially if you like the genre. 6, it's a good game. 7, it's a really good game. 8,
at the end, I love how the first 5 had all these sentences, and the end is just very common adjectives.
Okay, so 6 is a good game. It's got a lot of things right. It's just clean. It's crisp. It does a lot of things right. 7 tells it does what it does pretty well. It's a limited in scope. 7 is limited in scope. It's not this giant. It's not trying to do too much, but what it does really well. 8 is a very good game. It's just a solid game that does a lot of things very well and adds to the genre. 9 is one of the best games of its genre, and then 10 is a masterpiece. I'd only give 10 is a perfect game. and I'd only give one game that courtesy.
Is that I always get confused with you. Would that be the most recent Phoenix Wright game or Fallout New Vegas? Oh no, you only give that to Mother.
Earthbound, yeah.
Earthbound, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. I always forget. Yeah, no. Which I think that's good to give a classification. I think that's an interesting thing between a game that you like more and a game that you know is better.
Yeah.
Like that's an interesting choice to make in your head because it's like the subjective part of you fighting with the objective part of you, and they're wrestling for dominance in your head. Oh, is this game better? Well, I played it first, so there's all this nostalgia flowing around there. But this game obviously has better game mechanics, and so it's wrestling. And I think partially for me, the reason Fallout 3 is I like it is that's a similar wrestle. It's like the objective side of why New Vegas is better versus the subjective side of why Fallout 3 is better in my mind. It's a lot of nostalgia and it's a lot of other stupid stuff with Fallout 3 fighting New Vegas. Even though I would say definitely objectively in all rights, Fallout New Vegas beats Fallout 3 objectively almost on every thing on the scale. The only thing I would say it doesn't is I like the overall atmosphere in Fallout 3 better, but that's the only thing I think Fallout 3 is better on than Fallout New Vegas. I think it crushes it on every other level. It crushes it on well, not crushes it. It's got similar gameplay, but it's better. It's got better gameplay. Crushes it on story. Crushes it on DLC. Anyway, but I don't want to go too deep into it. But what I'm saying is, that's an interesting point is you have to constantly balance out, especially if you're doing reviews on a video game, the objective part of you from the subjective part of you and how you view that game. And I think it's interesting how you did that, even though Fallout New Vegas or the newest Phoenix Wright game might be your favorite game, you still know in your mind and in your objective brain that Earthbound is the best game.
Yeah, I mean, like, because there's two ways of doing game reviews, and I love game review theory and game theory and review theory. It's awesome. I love it. It's just something I weirdly nerd out on, but. Because there's two ways of doing game reviews. There's one way where you're like, okay, well, I'm not really doing this to help anyone. I just want to put my opinion out there. And then there's another way that, I'd like to help people. And honestly, in the second one, a buyer's guide kind of style, it's honestly better to be really subjective. Because then people who have similar tastes to you will find that information much more useful. But I just like having pure reviews, like, okay, this is how this game performs on the grander scale. Because like you said, with New Vegas and Dual Destinies, New Vegas is probably like a 6. It's got a lot of problems. It's got it's limited in scope in a lot of ways. It doesn't accomplish. It's got a lot of it feels really empty, which really knocks it down on my scale. And then Dual Destinies is probably a 7 because it's limited in scope because it's a really limited graphic novel, but it does that so well. It's probably one of the best that it does. So it's either a 7 or a 9 because it's limited in scope, but it's also one of the best of its genre. So it's hard to distinguish between the two. So it's hard to talk about that. But again, that's more to be that's more review theory. Before do you have a topic that's not the ASMR topic that you can talk about while I go to the toilet?
So kids, why don't I just edit this part out?
No, come on, you can do this.
But I can just edit it out.
You're a proper co-host now.
It will
you
be
can carry a show.
As my co-host, I'm making an executive decision. Fine, I'll carry the show. This can be stupid. I'll
be right back.
I'll cut it out if it's stupid. So, guys, one thing I'd like to talk about, this is a personal thing about my channel, and just remember, this is really late at night, so this is the latest at night I think we've ever recorded one of these episodes. It's really stupid that we are, but anyway, it's about 3 a.m. for me, and for Putty, it's God knows how late. I think the sun's definitely up for him. Anyway, but my channel is coming on to its 2nd year anniversary. 2013 on April the 21st was when I uploaded the first episode of Fallout New Vegas. So I had my 1st year anniversary of April 21st last year, and this will be my 2nd anniversary in just 10 days. I have to make a push now I've been putting it off because of all the stuff going on lately, but I need to make a push now to upload a episode of Fallout New Vegas every day for the next 10 days. If I want to make the 150th episode of Fallout New Vegas on the anniversary date, which I really want to, because it's a nice, round, clean number. I would have rather hit 200th, but I was really slow this year, and I'm not even sure if there will be 200 episodes, so that's another point to be made. But I was really slow this year as compared to last year with the New Vegas uploads, but I uploaded more videos of all my other series. So, like, I uploaded more videos overall, but less of New Vegas. So, basically what that says is I was giving a lot more fair treatment, I think, to my other series. And because it was more fair, just New Vegas had a huge decline in the amount of episodes uploaded. Anyway, I can't wait to push for that anniversary. One thing I'll be doing on the day is doing an unboxing video of a collector's edition of Fallout New Vegas I purchased. I've wanted it for a while, and I got it at a steal, and I really want to show you guys the contents. I'm really excited about this. It's one of those things where you just nerd out looking at it, especially if you really like the game like I do. It's awesome. Can't wait to show you guys. That'll be an unboxing / just look at video, and that'll be the sort of channel anniversary video I'll do for the day. It'll be very simple. Very, very simple, but I will like it. I hope you guys too. I'll be showing you a lot of this collector's edition. I'll probably be reading you every single quote on all the cards in the deck of cards, and I don't know, but I might read to you a couple pages of the comic book. I feel like the video might get a little bit shady if I read you the entire comic book, because it's like I'm stealing the comic book and you guys can read it for free. But I might read to you selections from the comic book just to show you guys what it's all about, and I will definitely show you everything else. I won't play for you the DVD, so that's not to be fair. Compared to what I could show you, I could play the DVD, I could read you the entire comic, but I'm not doing that. I'll be reading a selection from the comic. I will be reading all the cards. I'll be showing you everything. So it should be fun. And also, hopefully, the 150th video episode of New Vegas will be uploaded that day, and that might be somewhat special. I don't exactly know what the intro and what the thing will be about that episode. I don't know how it'll be special. It probably won't be as cool as Putty's episode 150, because Putty's episode 150 was off the hook with, he had a lot of machinima and planning and story with that one and a script, and it was awesome. So because of that, just because I'm not saying, I don't want to say I'm lazy, but just 150 won't be as important for me, so I'm not going to put as much work for it. 150 for Putty was really important because in his story, it was like this bridge from basically the career going insane and going into Lonesome Road, and that's why it was such an important episode, and he needed to make it important. And that's why it was so cool. So my episode 150 will not be as cool as his. Almost guaranteed. But I will try to do something for it. I'll make it a little bit cool. And we'll have that video. So for those of you who haven't checked out my channel yet, just take this as an opportunity to go there. Because on April 21st, we'll be doing that unboxing video of the New Vegas Collector's Edition. And I will be reading you all the quotes from all the characters in the deck of cards that comes with it, and they're really cool quotes. I really like them. It's a really cool thing. It's just a fun, nerdy thing we'll be doing together on that day, on my channel's anniversary. So that's what I've been talking about, Putty.
Yo, it's global warming and shameless whoring. It's Puddcast.
We never did that. Anyway, but yeah, that's what my topic was. I also talked a lot about the differences between my 150th episode of New Vegas and yours, what they will be. Like, yours is really cool, and mine will probably just be kind of cool. I basically told them not to expect as much as yours. But
I mean, I did something really special for 150, and I did something kind of special for 100. Like, it wasn't even special. I just did a little thank you.
Well, I think 150 for you was really important in your story, and that's why it was so special. Yeah. It wasn't necessarily because of the number. It was because
I timed it to do 150.
But the story was the important part.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, that was what I was talking about. Are you ready for ASMR?
Are you ready?
Oh God, no! I was worrying you were gonna do this. Like, ASMR is one of those things where I'm not comfortable with it live in a live setting.
Oh, I've always wanted to try it.
Well, I like it because that will happen to you randomly in your life, where maybe you'll be getting a haircut or you'll be in a teacher's classroom and you'll start getting ASMR, but I would not like the idea of someone trying to give me ASMR. live.
No,
They're like, hello. And I'm like, oh, shit.
No,
Unless it was a really hot girl. And in that case, you can overlook anything with a really hot girl. They can be like cutting a cow's head off in front of you, and you'd be like, well, you're hot, so. No, but what were we saying?
Now, I've gotten to the point with ASMR that it's no longer real-life things anymore, and it is just triggers.
You've just transcended. You're
No.
now a robot.
There's two kind of like communities of ASMRs. There's like the I'm gonna whisper to you and make you relaxed as we do natural things and haircut role plays, and then there's we're gonna trigger you. You're gonna be strapped down. We're gonna make as many intense triggers in your ears as possible and give you like, look, I know you've been doing this for a while. You're probably only gonna get like 2 tingles, but come on, let's do this. Yeah, that's basically where I'm at right now.
See, for me, I have been doing it for a while, not a long while. Like in the grand scheme of things, I've only been doing it for about a year, but I started getting ASMR immunity, as they call it, probably 4 months in. So, that sucks. But the thing is, even at the start of it, I didn't really like those intense triggers as you're talking, and I still don't now. I genuinely like triggers in a natural setting as I would experience it. And that's why I don't necessarily like roleplay videos, because a lot of roleplay videos are super cheesy and creepy. Not creepy, but they're cheesy. They're over...
Have you seen the college humor parody?
Yes, that's hilarious. That's a great example of how cheesy and creepy some roleplay videos can be. Like most roleplays are really cheesy. Some of them I really like, but most of the time I just like ASMR videos that are like vlogs. They're like ASMR vlogs where someone has to talk about something, and they have a topic. Like there's one ASMR artist I watch who she's like this really nerdy. Not in the gaming, well, she also likes video games, but she's a nerd in the like intellectual sense, where she will like give a talk about rhetoric in the English language for like an hour, and I eat that shit up because it's just so.
I think I've seen that.
Like she's just so. My favorite for those of you can plug yours. And this is the type of thing where I love plugging ASMR artists because there's just such cool people, and it's a really cool community. But my favorite ASMR artist is Springbok ASMR. Her name's Nicole. She's one of the best out there in my opinion, and she is my favorite. And she does a lot of those types of videos where it's just her talking to you about a certain topic, and she's doing it in an ASMR way, and that I love. That's my favorite kind. But who's your favorite?
Hermetic Kitten.
Kitten.
Ethereal Rift. Fast ASMR.
So not just one.
No, you can't just stick with one, otherwise you'll get immune. You gotta keep switching. Heather Feather, obviously. Come on.
I actually don't like her because of how cheesy her roleplays are.
I don't watch the roleplays.
They scared me away.
I watched the 5-hour-long trigger videos.
I think the first video I saw of hers was her roleplay, and it scared the shit out of me. She was like an alien. Anyway, that was when I was...
Oh, that was a good one. That was a good one with, what's her name? Shit, there was a collab with someone who I used to watch, but I don't watch anymore.
See, to me, I have to relate to an ASMR roleplay if I'm going to get to it, and I cannot relate to an alien roleplay. I've never been abducted.
I like the one where they give you, like, it was Space Holidays. I like that one.
That was kind of cool. Someone who did that, Space Holidays, kind of pretty well was ASMR... Requests. She did a lot of space things. She's a big one. I like her okay. I really like ASMR... no, ASMR's not the name. I haven't watched her in so long. She's a Dutch person. Can't think of her name. The Water Whispers.
Oh, Ilsa.
She was the first ASMR artist I ever watched.
Is she Dutch?
She's Dutch, yeah. But she lives in Canada right now. She lives in Canada.
Canada, eh?
But she was the first one I watched. And so because of that, I still watch her videos every once in a while, just because, you're first in anything you go back to. No, but I...
See, I can't, because he has like 3.
He has 3 videos.
Good night, Crendor. Why won't you upload more?
Oh, that's sad. But
if I've got to pick, I've got to say, Hermetic Kitten is by far my favorite. Just great mouth sounds that I just.
For the most part, I don't get tingles anymore. But ASMR generally relaxes me, even if I don't get pure, strong tingles.
I haven't in a couple weeks, probably. Like I like to take some off days, but usually now I just put them in the background when I'm playing video games.
Oh, I can't do that. That ruins it for me. If I'm focusing on anything else, it totally fucks it up. I have to be relaxed. And
I play video games to relax.
Yeah, but for me, it's something you have to focus on and also relax. Like the point of ASMR is it's an intense relaxation. It's like a massage. Okay, I don't want to be doing two things at once when I'm getting massaged, and I don't want to be doing two things at once when I'm listening to ASMR. It's
really, because I'm always reading or watching. I'm never just doing ASMR. It's always in the background. If I'm watching ASMR, it's because I want to read like wrestling articles in the morning. Like that's
oh no, ASMR for me is something that I experience. It's its own thing. Maybe if I'm taking a bath. like I'm kind of weird. I take baths. I know it's gay, guys. Get over it. No, I think it's really relaxing, and that's one of those things where I'll do that if I'm listening to ASMR. Get in a bath, warm up, get some bubbles, get nice and soapy, listen to some ASMR. That's a good Sunday.
Do you listen to a bath cleaning roleplay?
No, that freaks me out because then I feel like I'm being cleaned. I don't like that. But we've talked a lot about ASMR in general. But real quick before I move on to the series I'm working on, what do you think about what would you say to people on your channel who have never heard of it or have heard of it and are scared of it? Or not scared of it, but just sort of cautious and they don't understand it. What would you say to them?
It's difficult because...
When did you discover it?
I just looked, actually, because I was curious, and it's over 2 years now. Because the first video I ever watched is over 2 years old.
And the first video you watched, were you surprised, scared, or just exhilarated? Like, what was your experience?
Well, my experience was, I remember. It was keyboard typing. And I was like, oh yeah, this is oh wow, yeah, I was surprised, but I was like, I think I looked it up because I had insomnia, which is totally fixed now, right? 8:30 in the morning recording a podcast. So yeah, no, I had insomnia at the time, and I used it for that purposes, and then eventually I started getting tingles from it, and then I just looked up more people, and then I got immune, so I looked at the more intense triggers. It's step by step for me, and I haven't actually moved on to a new set of steps yet in a while. The last time I did that was like layered ASMR, which was last year, and I haven't done much since. Just
my first video I watched
22nd of March 2015. Sorry, 2015.
Like I said, was of the Water Whispers, and I the first thing that came to my mind was, oh my god, this is like, okay, this is like a thing that other people experience. I thought it was a weird thing. I thought maybe I was a little bit weird. It was just one of those weird quirks that, sometimes when people are talking really soft, my brain gets all weird and tingly. And it's something I had experienced several times in my life, to the point where I could have made notes about it. I could have said, okay, like it's like, oh yes, I have experienced this, but I don't think anyone else does. And I think I thought that to myself once. And then all of a sudden I watched this and I'm like, oh, this is a thing? Oh shit. So I wasn't scared of it at all, because immediately it was something I had experienced in my life before. I was just incredibly surprised that it was existent, and that I felt relieved that I wasn't one of the only ones that experienced it. And I think I don't know, there are really no statistics on it, because not really anyone has done any, but I would say, from what I have experienced just asking other people, I would say 1 out of 4 people experience it. That might be a rough guess. Maybe 1 out of 3. Maybe a little higher than that. But like, I would say most people don't. I'd say we're in a firm minority is the people who experience it. What would you say?
Yeah, I assume so. Like, I don't even experience it in real life. Like, from natural sounds. The only thing I can like compare it to is like physical things, like hot air being blown on me. That's what I always related it to. Sitting when I was like 5 years old, sitting in front of my tumble dryer in the back garden with a bunch of spiders, just because it felt nice. Or more,
just a bunch of spiders.
Yeah, like I hate spiders. I think I genuinely nowadays have arachnophobia, but back then I would sit there with like 2 up in the corner. I just stare at them like, please don't move, when I was sitting there like just experiencing it. And more recently, like for the last 5 or 6 years, I've used a dehumidifier and I just love it. The sounds, the feel, I'll just rest my head on it, and it's great. That's the only other. But sounds, not really. Like, honestly, like having my haircut, I don't get triggers or anything, or being in the classroom. Nah, it's not something I get. I only really got it from videos. I didn't really experience it beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, but I've also never met anyone else who watches it.
Really? In person?
No, I don't ask.
Maybe I've never asked anyone in person if they watch it, but I've met a couple people who I've asked and they've said they know what I'm talking about. Like, they've said they've experienced it. Well, actually what it was is I think I asked 2 people in one of my classes because that teacher gave me tingles like twice a day. Like, she would go in this really weird voice, like this really, hey class, okay, let's, like, she would turn off the lights. It was really weird. She would turn off the lights, walk around the class like a dinosaur slowly, up and down the rows, and just sort of be like, okay class, so let's work on our next assignment. And she would go from that to like screaming at us. I didn't like the teacher. She was very mean, but every once in a while she would go into this really calming voice and I would get these tingles, and I think I asked a few people and a couple of them were like, get away from me, freak. But one of them said, yeah, that is weird. I experienced that too. So I think that's the first time I like quantified it, but I don't know. So the point is, what would you tell?
What is the point?
What would you tell people who are afraid?
What
of
would I tell people? Yeah, you did ask this, and it stumps me a little bit. Afraid of it?
Okay, maybe not afraid of it. That's a tough word. How about just a little bit weirded out? Maybe they don't take it seriously. They, like, a lot of people just don't think it's a real thing. I actually like have genuinely met people and talked to people who are like, no, that's not a real thing. You guys are just faking. And I'm like, what? Oh, millions of people are not faking. It's like a thing. These videos get a lot of views. They're not all just on here to fake it. They're like, hey, it'd be awesome if we all just collaborated on this crazy heist and all said we experienced this thing that we don't and left out everyone.
Some people get relaxing sensations from classical music. Some people get relaxing sensations from whale noises. Some people get relaxing, this is a more common one, from noises of the sea. There's so many noises that have relaxed people.
If I hear a whale noise, I'm getting out my fucking harpoon because we're getting some oil in the truck. No,
there's a lot of sounds that have relaxed people throughout time. I don't think this is gonna become a huge thing, but what I will say is that a more like mainstream version of it, in terms of passive TV, watching people make stuff, things like that, is starting to get bigger and bigger, especially in Asian countries.
I think one of the biggest examples of that was an accidental example of it. I definitely don't think this is what they were trying to create.
Bob Ross?
The joy of painting with Bob Ross. It was a PBS thing, and if you don't know what PBS is, if you're not from America, it's basically our public television. It's like the
BBC?
What?
It's like the BBC?
It's like the BBC, except a lot less funded and not as cool. So,
the only reason why they fund the BBC is because it can pump out propaganda like nobody's business. But the joy of painting, I would give a warning to anyone: if you're planning on doing anything today, don't go looking for that, because even someone like me who doesn't really get relaxation out of ASMR, I clicked on it, I was like, you just get sucked in. I was like, I don't even like this.
Joy of painting is weird, and I think when I was little,
he
they
talks
used to air
the paintings. So
yeah, when I was little, they used to air reruns of it, because at the time he no longer did the show. He might have even been dead. I think he's definitely dead now, unfortunately. But basically, the point of the show when it started was he would create a painting because he was this really good painter, and why he was good was because he could create a painting quickly, and he could paint on wet paint. What?
He died before we were born.
Oh shit, that's even worse. Anyway, he could paint on wet paint, and they needed to find a painter who could paint a painting within an hour, or a half-hour time slot. And so that's why they picked him, and the point of the show was you could paint along with him, or you could see his techniques and get to know how to paint. What did he paint? Almost all of it was scenes of nature. Yeah. He could not paint a person worth shit. He was not an abstract artist. He exclusively did
he loved
landscapes.
Trees.
He loved trees. In fact, if you read his biography, he grew this love when he moved to Alaska. But he loved trees and mountains and rivers and streams. He was this very like down to earth guy, and I think a lot of artists didn't take him seriously because art's like one of these things where it's got to be abstract and all this, and I like that kind of art, but he just wanted to paint trees, and that's great. And one of the coolest things is his paintings look freaking awesome. They look really realistic. Some of them look scary realistic. One time I saw one of his paintings and I was like, "Fuck that! That's a picture. Shut up! That's a picture." But he's a really good artist, and what's weird about the show is even though the purpose of it is to show you how to paint, he just really gets into it, and he's like, okay,
so what if we put a tree over here?
What if we put a tree over
and he needs a friend just a little bit off in the distance.
And don't worry about that, and you don't need to make a mistake.
This is why I like painting, because it's a happy place. Now, if you want to change it...
And there's a lot of... Yeah, and he's just like, I just want to slap that a little bit there. Just tap that. He's always using words like slap and tap and hit. And it's always like a...
He's like, oh, if you just act like you're drawing the canvas in half. Don't worry, it's a tough canvas. It won't break.
Yeah. You really want to push that paint in. And he's like, just put a little bit of paint thinner in there, and that'll wash out the brush. It's just everything he says is this really classy sort of... it's not Southern. It's a very light Southern accent. Very light, to the point where it's classy and fun.
Florida.
And what?
Florida.
Yes. Well, but it's a light Florida accent. Very light. A heavy Florida accent makes you want to vomit, as I said earlier.
You hate Florida so much.
I hate a few states. Florida's one of them. I also hate my own state for other reasons, but Florida's one of them.
Can you tell me your top 3 least favorite states in the U.S.? No particular order, just top 3.
Florida, Texas, and Michigan.
Oh, a nasty little low blow at the end there.
I live near Michigan, and I just don't like a lot of the people there. And I don't like this, but I also don't like where I live. Like, Michigan, don't take it wrong. In fact, fuck it, I'll replace Michigan with Indiana.
Don't bow down to peer pressure before the video's even gone live, okay? You said Michigan first. We're taking Michigan.
We'll cut out that part about Indiana. No, but...
We won't cut out the minutes of silence earlier, but Indiana, that's getting...
But joy of painting is one of these weird experiences that everyone needs to experience at least once. You just need to sit down. They have episodes online. They're not on YouTube. Episodes aren't on YouTube.
They are now.
Really?
They did it yesterday. I looked on the ASMR subreddit.
Yesterday? What?
On the ASMR subreddit, they were like, they're starting to post full episodes, and they linked me to one, and there's a full episode up.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Before now, I had to go to shitty sites to find full episodes. Okay. Awesome. So, hey, guess what? You just got here in time if you haven't experienced Bob Ross before, because now it's on YouTube on full episodes. Just sit down and watch one. Just watch him paint something from start to finish.
That's nice ASMR transition, because it's not too ASMR-y.
Yeah, it's also great if you like painting, because he is genuinely a good painter, and if you had some oil paints, you could sit down and paint some shit.
Okay, so going back to the original question, what I would tell people who are a little bit wary about it, like, it's not... There are some weird parts of it, and the whole...
And Putty's into those.
I really am. I really am. I will not lie. Not Safe for Work ASMR is a cool subreddit that you should visit at least once in your life. And
wait, what did you just say?
Not Safe for Work ASMR subreddit.
Oh, okay.
If you want to find it, it's NSFW ASMR, all one word. Subreddit. Yep, just check it out. Just once. So there's some weird parts of the community, because the whole basis of it, in my opinion, is intimacy. Like, that's a little big part of the videos. And so, yeah, it is kind of weird. But there's a lot of ways, there's a lot of audio things that have relaxed people over the years, and it's just one of the next ones. Honestly, like, I get being a little bit iffy about it, but the reason why I like it, or I use it a lot, is because I'm just so open-minded about things. Like, you could, like, I really, like, just show me anything, I'll give it a go. If it's proven that rat poison won't kill me, I'll just take some rat poison. You like Marshall told me the other day.
This is true. You will click on any link you send him.
Unless...
He may not not watch it, but he'll look at it.
Unless there's one guy recently, and if you send me more than 5 links a day, I might stop clicking on them.
That's a Graham shout out.
But I will try, and I even watch most of those. So yeah, I will try a lot of things. And honestly, like, if you're an open-minded person, just give it a go. It's not going to be for you, but neither is, I'm just going to guess because I don't know you personally. Neither is comedy, or neither is drama. You might not like rom-coms, There's just certain things people don't like. Don't be afraid of it. Don't shun the community. But give it a go because it's fun. It's great. Like, if you can get Tinkles are awesome. Tinkles are one of my favorite things in life, man. They're awesome.
Mm-hmm. And also the community itself. At least I don't know about the NSF community, NSFW community, but the community on YouTube is in my
surprisingly tame. No, I mean about the NSFW.
The community on YouTube is incredibly supportive.
Yeah.
I would say the community on YouTube is incredibly non-competitive. It's very awesome. Every creator, regardless if they have 100 subs or 100,000 subs, and really the ASMR community, you don't get many more than that. That's about the top peak of ASMR creators. Yeah. That's about as high as you can go. Currently. I'm sure it'll get bigger. I'm sure in 5 years they'll get up to 500,000, maybe 1 million.
I mean, the population of the world is increasing, so
yeah. Well, not only that, but the popularity of ASMR is increasing, and I think it will increase. But currently, about 100,000 is the cap. That's like you're at the top of your game in the industry, and no matter where you are in the industry, they're all really nice. I haven't found one that even if I didn't like their videos, I haven't found one that I've said, oh, this is a horrible person.
Because you're putting yourself out there so intimately, you know what I mean? You have to be
They're very intimate, and they're great with comments. Even the largest channels out there are so good at replying to people's comments. I've commented on a lot of gaming videos over the years. If that gaming channel has over 5,000 subs, there's a very little chance I'm going to get replied to. It's just the truth. Most gaming creators are shitty with comments. They just are, on average. They're bad. But these ASMR artists, I get replied to almost all the time.
ASMR artists, not ASMR artists. Come on.
Sorry. Don't want to go against the natural alliteration. But, these ASM artists are awesome with comments. I don't know if you've experienced this, but if I comment 10 times on different ASMR videos, I'll probably get 9 out of 10 replied to. And the 10th, I only didn't get a reply because it was weird. So,
it's hard to, this? It's hard to stop yourself thinking weird things, isn't it? It is.
Yeah. And it's hard for me to stop saying those things. No, but do you experience this? How good they are at replying?
I don't think I've ever commented. I know.
Shit, dude.
I know. But
I'm a very commenty person.
But I've noticed that a lot of other creators will go and comment on the little creators' videos.
That's another thing they do. They're very supportive of smaller creators. They help push ASM artists. Genuinely experience. They go on hunts and they look at creators that they like, and if they like a smaller creator, they will put them on their shoulders. They will start supporting them. Not necessarily aggressively. They're not going to be like, hey, watch this shit or die. But they might be like every once in a while, hey, this is a really good channel, and they generate good content, and I think you should check them out. And a lot of gamers don't do that unless there's some personal game involved. Gaming channels don't do that usually unless there's some sort of personal gain involved, unfortunately. Like, as much as I love video games and the video game community, it's a selfish community when it comes to YouTube, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, my whole friendship with Marshall was just an early investment that I hope would pay off eventually when he gets big. It's been like 3 years.
He did say that originally. He did. My entire relationship with Putty was just to get one solid viewer on my first channel.
Yeah.
But it is much more selfish than the ASMR community in compared to it. So if you want a great community on YouTube,
I think there is just naturally a difference there because of the type of content. But if you looked at early gaming community, 2007, 2006 gaming community, it wasn't as cutthroat as it is today because there just weren't that many of them. The little guys.
That's true. And maybe just because ASMR is so new.
Yeah.
I hope, though, in 5 years it'll be the same because it's just such a cool kind of content. And the people who do it are nice, cool people.
Yeah, it's just you're putting your... I think the style of content, unless it gets really mechanical, which I don't think it will, at least not for a while.
We get to the grunge rock phase of ASMR.
Oh. I think ASMR radio stations would work.
No, that has actually been proposed, and I think there's one in the works. There's a lot of ideas there, and I think either tried to do it or they're still trying to do it.
Yeah, it's an idea. It's not something I'm gonna get behind 100%, but it's something I enjoy, and I think I listen to ASMR every day. I don't think there's been a day in a long time. I couldn't put a number on it, but a long time where I haven't just like, oh, I'm not listening to anything, I'm not watching anything right now, and I'm playing a video game, so I'll just check this sleep laboratory in the background.
I think another cool thing is, even if we're not to the point where ASMR radio is a thing, something is becoming more popular, and with my favorite creator, Springbok ASMR, she just did this, ASMR albums. They're starting to become a thing. They're starting to be released. I've seen a few of them, and my favorite just released one. And the albums are really good. The two of them I've listened to one my girl created, and another person, I call her my girl. Sorry, I hope she never watches this video. I watched these two albums, and the content on the albums is superb. It's really good. Like I think something about that attracts an even higher level of quality because there's no video to it. They really, really work hard on that audio, and I think an ASMR albums is the next step in the development of the medium, because for me it's very audio, and I know a lot of auditory. It's almost all auditory for me, and I know a lot of people need the video, but for me it's like 99% auditory.
For like 2 weeks, hand triggers cured my ASMR. What's the word? Crap. You said it earlier, and I've been saying it a lot.
Immunity.
Yeah, it cured it for ages. It's really good, and also like if you just watch someone doing the binaural stuff and you watch them moving and stuff, yeah, it's good. It's alright. I do like the video part of it, but like I said, it's usually all in the background when I'm doing other shit, so I don't get to experience it that often. But yeah, I like the video. I think it's important.
So now that we've talked forever about ASMR,
like half an hour.
You promised me. No,
no, I'm kidding. Look. I've already extended. The show's got a time slot until 3 hours, so we've got to fill up the next 48 minutes now. So
oh shit!
The
what?
floor
No.
is open.
we can stop anytime. No, but
nope.
What?
Nope. We got 3 hours to fill. Come up.
You're joking, right?
I'm
not going an entire another hour.
It's not an entire another hour. It's only 48 minutes. Come on, just roll with it.
I'm about to finish my topic and then
roll with the punches.
We'll see if you have any topics
I
left.
do actually.
Okay, well I want to go to bed. So anyway, my last topic, it's not really a topic. It's on ASMR. And I want to talk to Putty about this, and I thought it'd be cool to talk to him about it in front of you guys. And if you guys have any
I'm gonna be horrified, aren't
I? Tell me. No, it's a proposal for a series, and I did a prototype on it, and I might show Putty in a couple days. But the series is in Skyrim, Putty's favorite game. No, it's in Skyrim, and it's an ASMR book reading lore series.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's sounding good so far.
Basically, the idea is it's probably anywhere from a half an hour to an hour video, probably a half an hour most of the time, almost all the time, because that's the time period I like for my videos. But a half an hour video where I get in my library in my house, and because on one of my mage characters I hoarded books like a son of a bitch, because I really got into the role playing with this character, and I thought, okay, he's a nerdy mage. What a nerdy mage is like, books. So I hoarded books like a rat. I didn't even care about money. One time
oh my god.
Right? I didn't care about money. Sometimes I would be like, okay, if someone literally on this playthrough, if someone said, I'm going to give you 10,000 gold coins or 10 books, I'd be like, give me those books, bitch. So I was hoarding books, and I realized, there is something to do with all these books. Make a series out of it. And so I thought one of the it'd be combining two of my favorite things, the lore with ASMR. And one of the cool things about Skyrim, even if you don't like the gameplay or the story of the game, the story and the lore of the universe is incredibly extensive and well developed. It's one of my favorite universes ever as far as the overall lore. They've really done well with it, and the books are the main carrier of this lore, because the characters in Skyrim are really bad at talking, but they're really bad at conversing lore to you through speech. But the books are just as good as they ever have been. They're really good at it, and I had so many books that I decided this is a good series to do. So the first episode, if I do publish this, because I'm very wary of publishing ASMR things on a strictly gaming channel, is me just reading volumes 1, 2 through 5 of a history of Tamriel, and it's basically the first. These books were created in Arena, the video game, so they're some of the oldest books in the series, but they are also in Skyrim because the books carry over. That's one of the things I like about the game. And so this is a great introduction, I thought, to the series, not only as a great start for the series, but also if you haven't experienced Skyrim lore, it's a great start. It's a great starting point to bounce off from as far as the lore itself. And there's a lot of books in fact, most of the books I haven't read in the game. So it'll be fun for me, just as a catalyst, a reason for me to read these books, and then I can start experiencing more of the game, the part of the game that I think is worth experiencing. But what do you think about this idea?
I think this is a great idea.
Okay.
I think it's a really good idea. I think it's one of the best fusions of gaming and ASMR I've ever heard.
Wow. I got him behind me, guys.
So now I want to bounce you an idea that I've just came up with.
Okay. We both do. No, what was your idea?
Well.
Oh, shit. I just judged you. I'm sorry. No, tell me your idea.
You're wary about... I know... Okay, this might not help you. Anyway,
no, tell me.
You're wary about uploading the ASMR videos on your own channel.
Yeah.
So and I know you don't want to make an ASMR channel just for yourself.
Well, because I just made 2 channels.
So what if...
Maybe one day.
What if we made a collaboration ASMR channel where you do Skyrim book reading and I do Deus Ex Human Revolution book reading? To start with, and then we'll do other things.
Holy shit. Okay, the one problem I see with this... I love the idea of a collaboration channel on ASMR, and it would make sure we didn't scare away our gaming audiences. And anyone watching this long and anyone listening this long into the podcast is definitely on board for that kind of weird stuff. No, at this point, we've weeded out the normal people.
We are approaching record podcast length.
Fuck it, we're going for a record anyway. But yeah, I think that's a cool idea. The only problem I see with your end of it, the Deus Ex part, is most of the books are very short. So like even shorter than the Elder Scrolls books, which are kind of short as well. You might have to like
I could be the quick hit and you could be the long form.
I suppose. Like for me I like long ASMR videos.
So do I. Yeah.
Okay. I think that's another cool thing about this genre of YouTube videos, guys. It's one of the few genres where very long form content is not only accepted, it is the norm. Like even in gaming, even though 30-minute videos might be accepted, they're not the norm. 20, 15-minute videos are the average. In fact,
this week I have watched 2 5-hour trigger videos.
Yeah. That's insane. and I'm sure there are hundreds upon thousands of other people who have as well. ASMR is one of those few genres where long-form content is the norm. Anyone doing 5-minute videos in ASMR would not even get the time of day. And that's why I really like it, because I like long videos in general. And to be a part of a community where that's the norm, it's like, whoa, you guys are cool, you know where it's at. But, yeah, I think you might have to, like, I think what you might want to do with that series is maybe create a theme episode. So maybe the theme is talking about geopolitics.
Yes. No, I was thinking about exactly, yeah.
Okay, cool. So you read several logs about geopolitics.
Maybe I analyze the log. No, that's getting too... I'm like, yeah.
The nice thing about this is we both have Yetis, and our Yetis have stereo
move back and
feature.
forth.
So we can kind of do a binaural thing.
Also, the have you ever read the really steamy og on human erotic novels in the game?
Have you ever read The Argonian Maid? No.
Yes, actually.
I've also read the things you're talking about. So yeah,
it's like, he gripped me with his cold iron arms. Shit like that.
Yeah. So I think this is a great idea. I'm glad you're all for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm down.
And maybe there are other games. I'm sure there are other games we could branch off from.
Fallout Terminals.
Maybe. Some of the Fallout terminals are weird. I don't know if I'd want to do that.
Exactly.
It'd be like she was screaming. Then the blood started. Like, it's just really good. Oh man. No, but I think there are other. I can't think of off the top of my head because who can?
Oblivion.
Here's the thing. I'm not sure, but I think all the books that are in Oblivion are also in Skyrim.
Okay.
So that's the point. The only reason I'm doing it in Skyrim is one.
Because it has all the books.
It has all the books, plus the books from Skyrim that are new to Skyrim. Also, I like the graphic. I like the graphics, the way the books look in Skyrim. They're pretty.
What's the status on Elder Scrolls Online? Does that have all the books from the previous games in it?
That is a good question. I wonder if it does have books. Maybe that would be a reason for me to buy that game. But yeah, I will look into that. If it has its own books, that might be a reason, because it's a really big game. So who knows? They might have written a lot of books for it.
Yeah. I mean, there's loads of lore. We could just do lore eventually. Like, just do lore readings.
Maybe. Putty's getting too crazy. We have to back out. Cut the plan.
I'm thinking, like, first of all, like, I just want to, obviously, if we were going to do this, just do experiment videos. Nothing serious. Wouldn't, like, dedicate ourselves to it or anything.
Yeah. No, I think this is a decent idea, and I think it has a way. I think it has a very. It sounds fun. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
It sounds a lot of fun.
When you started talking about it, I thought, well, you don't want to do a channel on its own, and I thought, I could do some Deus Ex, and then I thought, maybe we could do a collab channel. So
we could also. I'm not sure. Would this be an ASMR collab channel, or would it specifically be an ASMR gaming collab channel?
It could be. We could branch out from gaming.
Because if we're focusing on gaming, we could also do just ASMR Let's Plays. I'm not sure how those would go. I'm not even sure how popular they are. I've never watched one.
No, I watched a nice Minecraft one because it's got a lot of sounds in it. But
oh god, ASMR, like Minecraft music just depresses me, and I have a feeling any Minecraft ASMR Let's Play is gonna have the music playing. Anyway, what are you saying?
I figured out something else you could read. My literature from Minecraft.
Oh, it's funny you say that, because I was actually, while I was reading the historic accounts in Skyrim in the prototype I did, I was thinking, this sounds exactly like the shit Putty's been writing.
I see shit.
So either Putty's really good, or the writers at Elder Scroll at Bethesda are really bad. Like either Putty's really professional, or the writers at Elder Scrolls are super amateur.
You know, I want to believe for multiple different reasons that it's the former. It's me being professional.
Yeah. Okay, sorry, I had to think about it.
For multiple different reasons, because I at least think Bethesda have a decent writing team.
Yeah, I think they do too. And I think, like I said, I think if there's one thing you can respect Elder Scrolls for, it's the universe. It's well built, and a lot of it connects. I read so they have this 4-volume series spanning like 500 years and maybe like 40 different emperors. That's another reason why I thought of you, because it was talking about so many emperors.
Yeah.
And I was
That's why I hated you for coming up with a new royal name, because I loved just being able to refer to them as Lord First, Lord Second, and Lord Third. Because not only was it easier, but it was also an awesome Naruto reference that you're going to ruin when you bring out the first of something.
Yeah, but if you just continue, then that's endless, and it means nothing. You have to have other names.
Well, after Lord Sixth, you would have just retired, because, you know.
Anyway,
hopefully you won't have more than 6 heirs, otherwise well, maybe. The server's already
my
dying.
Next heir will live forever. No. But, yeah, I think... I kept thinking of that, but it spans this entire period.
Yeah.
And I realized at the end of the series... When it ended with, I was thinking, okay, eventually here it's going to start talking about the Oblivion Crisis. And the end of the series was talking about Jagar Tharn, the battle mage who imprisoned Uriel Septim VI. And I realized, holy shit, this 4-book series only made it to Arena. And that blew my mind as to the scope of the lore in Elder Scrolls.
Yeah.
They wrote all this just for the first game, which they didn't even think was gonna be that successful. So I think, I think it has a lot of potential. And this should be interesting. Are there a lot of books in the first Deus Ex?
I think there are a decent amount.
Okay, well that's another thing you could do if you're doing Deus Ex. You could go to the first one and read them if you're interested in that.
Yeah. They're more. I think they're more like conspiracy theory magazine kind of crackpot theory things, though, which are kind of cool. But my favorite thing about the books in the Deus Ex series is the development of augmentations.
Oh wait, it's been a while, but does Mass Effect have logs you can read, like long logs?
I think so, but I've never played Mass Effect. Those are those games I save for a rainy day. I've talked about this for years.
Yeah, you have.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
Mass Effect could be another game that we could do that on, maybe, because I believe it has a substantial amount of logs. Maybe I might be confusing with something else, but
I would say BioShock, but they voice act all those logs already.
Yeah, that's the problem. There's a lot of the best logs, in my opinion, in Fallout are voiced.
Yeah, because they add so much
really
emotion.
Well written ones.
Yeah.
No, like a note from your dad. No, just. But
wait, you've read the holotape from Dictron to Richter, right?
No,
you haven't.
Oh yeah. No, I have.
Okay, I loved writing that. That was fun.
Yeah.
Wait a second. 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4,
oh, I know what you're doing.
3, 2, 1. Boom! Record podcast length.
Were you looking that whole time for the longest one?
Yeah, basically. For the longest time.
Whoa.
Oh, that's been ages, man.
For the longest.
Anyway, yeah. So I think it's a good idea. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, we're all in agreement.
What was your
first
idea. ASMR series?
I didn't do a series.
The
I did a
prototype
tester
that you sent me, wasn't it?
Okay,
Doom?
I had two. I had a private beta and then a alpha prototype. So the private was a 20-minute video in a strategy game called Stronghold 3.
I like that one.
Yeah, I like that too. It was good.
Was the other one Doom?
No, I would not do an ASMR video in Doom, you madman. I'd be on edge the entire time.
I think I was playing Doom while watching you.
Oh, well, good God, that's a bad ASMR experience. This would be me doing a Doom ASMR video. Okay, guys. We're playing... Oh, God! Like, I'd just be screaming the whole time.
Roleplay.
Yeah, roleplay ASMR. Yes, the second one, the public one, was I did 2 videos of Papers, Please, which works pretty well, I thought. It was the kind of game.
You take them down?
I didn't.
Oh,
I didn't. I never made the Stronghold 3 public, but I never took it down, and I never took down the Papers, Please, or made them private. They're still up. You can still watch them to this very day.
Okay, I'm going to type in Papers, Please, ASMR.
Oh, God, I hope I didn't take them down. I'll look like an ass.
You'll just upload them by the time this video comes out.
Yes, I will.
Papers, Please. I imagine ASMR is a thing. Yeah, it is. God, it's not going to be top, is it? Oh, Springbok has done one. Did you?
Oh, I assumed you were searching. Oh, yeah, she did. Springbok
You're
did
there, your
paper...
first page.
Shit!
It's got 321 views.
Whoa, what? Send me the link. Damn, I should have continued that series.
Damn,
see,
son.
ASMR people come out and watch.
Wow.
They come out
son.
in heaps.
You been checking these comments? No, there's 10 likes and 0 dislikes.
Oh.
But Windows Wind.
Why didn't I continue? What?
Windows Wind is the only comment, though.
Yeah. Man, I should have taken that as a green light to continue.
Yeah.
10 likes. That's like universal like.
Wow.
And 300.
Wow, man. Yeah.
I feel like a dickhead. I feel like anyway.
Yeah, well, I'll give you the green light on this series, and I think we should make a channel for it.
You know what? I think
Puddcast ASMR. I'm joking.
No, we're not having Pud in everything.
ASM Pud.
Oh God.
ASMR.
I think this is something we should talk about when we're a little less tired, but I definitely think
we're making the channel right now.
Oh shit.
YouTube, give me a channel. YouTube won't give me.
Spit one out. How do you? Oh God, how do you make a channel now with the whole Google Plus thing?
Create an account. I got one.
But you're already doing it. Stop.
No. I'm just checking. Calm yo tits. All right. Well, yeah,
Anyway.
that's a thing we can do. That's a thing we're doing.
Okay.
Wow.
It sounds fun. Anyway, you guys, if there is anyone watching at this point in the video, definitely tell if you'd like this kind of thing. And if you have any questions about ASMR, we'll answer you. And if we don't know the answer, we'll might point you in the
just when you think you've got the answers, I change the questions.
We'll direct you in the direction of of another video. Oh, another game that has stuff you could read. I'm not sure if it would work.
What's this?
But Phoenix Wright?
Nah.
No?
Nah.
I take it back.
This doesn't have stuff you could read. It's dialogue.
Are you sure? It doesn't ever have papers?
Yeah, but it's brief descriptions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not. You don't get to read the whole evidence file. Maybe L.A. Noire?
I don't really remember another game I need to replay or remind myself what it's. Yeah, I think it had stuff you could read. I'm not sure if there's enough there. I think this is definitely something we'd have to start. God damn it, my cat again. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Jesus Christ. Okay, cat, you're getting thrown.
I threw my cat at the start of this podcast. He is lied down. He might be dead, but hey.
I just threw my cat towards its own vomit.
You haven't cleaned that up?
No, we're in the middle of the video.
It's been like an hour. It's just been like fermenting.
It does that. Anyway, so what? Yeah, I think this is a great idea, and I think we'll have to research. Well, we don't have to because we got a solid start with 2 games. But I think eventually, if this continues, we should research games that also have logs that we could explore.
Yeah, definitely. I'm interested. I'm really. It's a good idea. I really think it's a good idea. I'm behind you.
All the way.
All the way. Is that it on that topic?
You know, I think that's all on the topic of ASMR.
Okay, well,
Artists.
I am a smartest. I've got one more topic that I want to talk about for a reasonable amount of time. And it is, and I don't know how much of the conversation you will be able to keep up with on the side, because you seem tired. The retirement of AJ Lee.
Mm-hmm.
You don't seem excited about this topic.
It's sad.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this is gonna be. I want to spend some time to pay tribute to her career.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So we'll
That's not sad.
We'll preface this. Her. Okay. So the performer, the sports entertainer, the WWE diva, April Brooks, AJ Brooks, whatever her real name is, retired from pro wrestling this week. In one of the most heartbreaking announcements I've heard in a long, long time. She was, in my opinion, one of the best female performers in the industry for a very long time. She's done wonders for the division, even though it's nowhere near what it should be at. And she's one of the best in the business, gender aside. What's your thoughts on her?
I agree. I think she's fantastic. I really like her as a wrestler. I really like her as a character. She can play a heel really well. She can play a face really well. She is a great pro wrestler all around.
And if you could take like 5-10 minutes, any like particular moments from your career that you want to talk about in detail.
Are you leaving me for 5 or 10 minutes?
No, I'm still here. Okay.
Okay.
I'll do the same thing after you're finished.
Oh, okay. 1 second. Let me throw my cat again. If I made the noise, she ran away.
There you go.
she suspected that there's another cat she has to fight. But I think I haven't seen as much of her career as you have. But I really like maybe you should do this. I mean, I couldn't talk about for 5 or 10 minutes of it.
Just give a couple then. I'll go after you, but I want to hear some of yours that you remember.
Okay.
Even recently.
I'd say I really liked the stuff I've seen of her as the manager of Raw. She's really hilarious, and it's really funny to see her in that position of power and sort of manipulating other people. Not necessarily manipulating, but being stronger than them. I think my favorite I think my favorite AJ Lee moments are when she is a insane heel, like she's crazy, batshit crazy, and it's hilarious because she's really good at it. She's really she's sort of like I want to say a crazy snake lady, but don't say that too loud because it might attract. Oh shit! No, wait, be quiet. Anyway, I'm a fucking snake. But anyway, but she's really crazy. She's kind of suave about the way she enters a ring. Every time she enters a ring, one of my favorite moves of hers is most of the time after she enters a ring, she sits down on the middle rope and bounces on it like it's a swing set or something, and that's hilarious. She's so casual about everything. I love her. As I've told you in the past, her takedown the Black Widow is one of my favorite moves in WWE, and it's incredible to watch. And what's hilarious is it forces the opponent to smack her on the ass to tap out. It's the only way they can tap out. I mean, theoretically, they can do it on the leg, but she doesn't like that. So that's a really funny move. She's really positive. She's always, like, whenever you see her, I mean, not whenever you see her, but most of the time when you see her, she's laughing, she's cackling, sometimes in a creepy way. She smiles a lot. She's a really positive person. I like her outfit. It's really cool. It's sort of this cross between punk and sort of lovey-dovey. Like, it's a weird sort of...
But when she has the John Cena jorts, is that too far?
Maybe. She's kind of got like a Sweet 16 gone bad sort of thing, like a My Chemical Romance outfit a lot of the time. And I think that's my favorite one that she sort of does. Yeah.
I still like her black and pink proper wrestling tights she was wearing for WrestleMania 30, and she wore like around there as well. I just thought like because that was towards the end of her Divas title run, and I was like, yeah, now she's getting down to business now. She knows she's got to actually put on some proper clothes and wrestle. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. Anyway, that's about all I have to say about her. I think she's a really good wrestler, and she's my favorite female wrestler currently. I really like Bayley.
Not currently.
No, currently. Shut up. Anyway.
Who's your new favorite female wrestler?
Bayley.
Oh, okay.
I like Bayley. She's the
She's the successor to the throne.
Yeah. She's the only one who can fill the position in my mind.
She better get going. She's only 3 years younger.
Yeah.
Anyway, is that it for you? Do you want to...
I really like... Bayley maybe. I actually... Scratch Bayley. I like Bayley because she's, in my mind, the successor to AJ Lee, but I really like Paige.
Yes.
On her own. So Paige is my favorite wrestler. Never mind. Female wrestler, now that AJ Lee's no longer one. So anyway, what were you saying?
Do you want me to go on with my favorite moments from AJ's career?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So first of all, we've only had like 3 years of her, and that's very, or 4, and that's very disappointing to me. But what I will say on her career is that there are certain points that I think are huge, bigger than some of anybody else in the company over the last 4 years. First of all, between 2011 and 2012, she was Daniel Bryan's manager. And that's a big deal because it added a real wrinkle to Daniel Bryan's character. It gave him someone to play off of. It really added some character to Daniel Bryan and really made him the character we all needed to get attached to. And without her, we might not have one of the most over baby faces in the entire company right now in Daniel Bryan. Big deal. Also, I loved the character development of AJ Lee. In 2011, Daniel Bryan made her feel like shit, and the same words that he used to her in 2011, AJ used to Caitlyn 2 years later. And it shows the absolute development of somebody who's not weak, but like emotionally weak and very reserved and easily dominated by other people, developing into this absolute like powerhouse, this absolute like control freak who just enjoys making other people feel small. So it's a complete opposite reversal. It's the greatest, one of my favorite heel turns, slow burning heel turns in a long time, because she was so pleasant, so nice, but Daniel Bryan snapped her, man. And then she had that run as the general manager of Raw, which I think really helped her character. I think it was the big development. Like, now she has power and she can do something with it. That's what made her grow in confidence. And that's then after she left Raw, I think she lacked a little bit of direction. She didn't have much story going for her after that. She joined a stable with Biggie Langston and Dolph Ziggler, and that stable was hilarious. It was awesome, great stable, but it didn't really have much story to it. When she left that, she had her long ass run with the Divas title, which was awesome again. It wasn't great. Like, it wasn't the best run ever, but it was the longest run ever, and she had a really good rivalry with Caitlyn. Really good. I still maintain to this day that Caitlyn AJ is one of the best female matches of the last 5 years in the E. It's been a long time since we've had something like that. It's nowhere near the standards of 2005, don't get me wrong, but it's still good. It's still very good. It beats Melina Kelly. It beats Beth Phoenix Kelly. It beats Kelly. God damn it, Kelly. Anyway, let me move on from my Kelly rage. And then AJ puts over Paige, which is one of the most important things, because Paige is one of the top 3 best pro wrestlers in the WWE, regardless of gender. Really important to put that out there. And I think my favorite part about AJ's career is probably that in 2012, she was the centerpiece of Monday Night Raw. She was the one main eventing Monday Night Raw. She was what the whole program was based around in 2012. And to do that as a female performer is incredible. Seth Rollins did it last year. Look where Seth Rollins is today. I'm really disappointed that AJ retires at the age of 28, because I think we had a long time left in her. I think she's great. She is one of the reasons why I kept watching Raw last year when I came back to it. She is one of the reasons why I even came back to it, and she is amazing. And I wish her all the best if she ever watches this 3-hour-long podcast, because she's amazing.
Even though this is the only time we talked about it, we're gonna title it "Come Back, AJ."
No. please. I don't know. She was looking a little rusty recently. Maybe it's not the worst idea to go out.
Don't say bad things about her.
But she certainly is a legend, no doubt about that. And she deserves a spot in the Hall of Fame, definitely, next year if possible. I think that's that. I really don't think we can stretch another 18 minutes out of this bitch, so I think we gotta have to settle with what we got.
No, well, we've got our finisher, Fallout.
Okay. Yeah, I thought I was gonna skip that this week, but that's okay. Yeah.
Oh, well, if you want, we can skip that.
We can do it. Nah.
No, let's fucking skip it.
Let's skip it, yeah. We didn't do the games.
Because
next week we've got to talk about Dota and Deus Ex Human Revolution when I finish that, which I'll finish.
This was a weird episode.
A little bit weird. It's still decently on track.
Yeah, I think not only that, I feel like it's important, so I feel like that should be at the end of a shorter episode, a more concise episode.
Well, I'd like to make 3 hours the norm, but whatever.
Really?
I would love to, yeah.
Definitely not. Not me. I can't do 3 hours every time. Jesus Christ.
Okay, that's the.
You're like you hurt me. You don't want to talk to me for 3 hours.
You know, that's the dedication levels we have here. Anyway, it's time to wrap things up here.
Okay.
Can you name a Californian city with 347,483 people living in it in 2010?
Sorry, say that again.
Can you name a Californian city that had 347,483 people living in it in 2010?
Santa Barbara?
Stay classy, Bakersfield.